I think we are live now. Guys, let me know if you can see me and hear me. Are we? Hi everyone, good evening, good evening. I think we are live now. Hi, hello everyone, good evening. All those who have joined, good to see a lot of people have already joined us, and I hope to have many more today. So today will be arithmetic, and I want to solve a lot of questions, do a lot of questions. Teach also, basically we'll cover time, speed, distance, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest. We'll cover everything from like the formulae to questions. So I want this to be like the one-stop revision for arithmetic. Okay. So good to see a lot of people who are there. Good evening, good afternoon rather. Hi Sai Kiran, hi Nitin, good to see you. Good to see all those who have joined. And a small request from my side to all those who have joined, please like the stream if this stream is helpful to you, if you feel that, okay, these streams are good, I'm getting good revision out of them. So please like the stream, it helps us a lot reaching more students. It motivates us a lot to do these streams. So if you like these streams, please like the stream. Hi, good to see all of you. Hi. Paridhi, hi Yasir, good to see all of you guys, and I want you guys to be ready to solve a lot of questions. I have not chosen easy questions as a mix of questions from easy to difficult, so I want you guys to be prepared to solve them, and we'll be there, like I'll be helping you the whole way, so it won't be too difficult. It won't be that I can't solve this, but I want you to be mentally prepared to solve. I don't want you to just see the video, because then that is not very useful. If you solve with me, that is much more useful than just seeing the video. So good to see a lot of people are joining in already. Good to see a lot of people are already there. Hi everyone. Hi Kishore, Darshan, Yash. Good to see all of you guys who have joined. Okay. Good afternoon to everybody who is seeing, and good afternoon everyone. Okay. Just let me know how your preparation is going, and if the preparation is going well, if it is not going well, what is happening, how many mocks have you guys taken, what are your mock scores like, just let me know. And if you guys haven't started taking mocks, this is your reminder to start your mocks. It is super important to start taking mocks regularly from now on. Good evening, Lakshman, Aditya, good evening, Vipin, Shivam, good evening everyone. Please speak in English. I know I'll try to explain if it is needed, but I feel that my English, I don't use complicated words. I try to keep it simple, and I'll try as much as possible to make sure that a wide audience can understand it. Okay. Good evening. Why Cracku daily targets are not there in Saturday and Sunday? Saturday and Sunday is the day marked for mocks and sectionals and mock analysis and study room. That's why it's not there on Saturday and Sunday. They are there from Monday to Friday. Basically, they are your regular practice, daily practice. But Saturday and Sunday, you have to do more practice oriented around mocks and sectionals. You have to analyze your mocks. You have to identify the gaps. You have to practice from the study room. That's why they are not there. Good evening, Ajay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Naman. Good evening, Pratiksha. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see a good number of people have joined, and good to have all of you here. I hope all of you are ready to solve. I want this to be a very interactive session. I want you to solve questions, not just look at me. And I want this to be a very, very interactive session. So let's get started. Okay. So we'll start with time, speed, distance. Time, speed, distance is one of the harder topics of arithmetic. I feel that if you go in terms of difficulty, easiest is percentages, then you have averages, ratio and proportion, mixtures and solutions, then you have like say time and work, then you have profit and loss, compound interest, simple interest, and time, speed, distance. Time, speed, distance generally tends to be the hardest topic out of all the arithmetic topics that are there. But quite frankly, it is a fairly simple topic. If you know the questions are very repetitive, as in you know the base concept. Max, how many ways can I twist that concept? Very few. Like I can max put like 25 different questions by 50 different questions. By the 51st question, it will be slightly similar to a question I've already made. So if you solve enough number of questions, there's no reason for you to struggle with this topic. But let's take a look at time, speed, distance. We'll start with the concept of races and head starts. I hope most of you guys know what a head start is. Anybody who doesn't know what a head start is? This session will be on YT only, ma'am. Cracku students will not be able to answer questions on the portal. This will be only on YT. I'll show the question, I'll put the timer, you can solve it. But this won't be like on the portal. You are not taking a test on the portal. You're solving it, and let me know the answers through the chat box. The first few guys who get the answer right on the chat box, I'll be calling you out. I'll be giving you guys a shout out, but this is basically you get a chance to solve. I won't directly solve it. I'll give you chances to solve, but this is not on the portal. This is directly on YouTube. Okay. Ma'am, will Cracku also make one more open mock like others? I have brought mock, but I have brought your mock, but I want a real competition analysis. Yeah, definitely we'll do that. We'll have open mocks this year. We will do it sometime in say September or October, but we'll definitely do that. So good to see. Again, so let's start with our this. Ma'am, your suggestions to analyze mocks. Okay, so the suggestion to analyze mock is basically if you open Cracku's mocks, you will directly get the most important things that you need. One is the strengths and weaknesses. Which topics are you good at? Which topics are you weak at? And also how much time you are spending per question. What I want you to consider is that, okay, in this particular topic, what was my attempt rate? What was my accuracy? And how much time am I spending in this particular topic? That will give you a lot of idea about whether you are like wasting time, whether you are targeting topics you are not very good at, your strategy is correct or not. Secondly, you will also identify which topics you need to work harder on. If there is a topic that you are very weak in, this would be your, that should be like the reminder that you have to practice from that topic, that you have to revise that topic, that you solve at least 50 questions from that topic. Okay, so let's start with races and head starts. So what is a head start? See, basically when people run a race, if people start at the same time, the person who is running faster will win the race. Now to make it more interesting, suppose A is like say clearly faster than B. What A can actually do to make the race more interesting or more closer is give B a head start. So if I'm running against a child, what I'll say is that you start a bit ahead of me or you start 10 seconds ahead of me. So I can give a head start in terms of time or I can give a head start in terms of seconds. So start a few seconds before me or start a few meters ahead of me. So this is basically what a head start is. Head start is that you start ahead of the competitor. Now, what is head start? How do you actually write the equation for head start when it comes to the time, speed, distance equations? How do you write the equation for head start? See, if A and B are there, and say A is the faster guy, he gives, say, they are running a 1 kilometer race. And say A gives B a head start of 100 meters. That basically means that, and suppose that A gives B a head start of 100 meters, and then they reach the finish line at the same time. Which means what? That after B started, A waited till B completed 100 meters and after that A started running. So this becomes a question of constant time. So when A started running, the time that it took B to complete 900 meters is the same time it took A to complete 1000 meters or 1 kilometer. So since it is a question of constant time, we can say that distance covered by A in that time divided by speed of A will be equal to distance covered by B in that time divided by speed of B, which means that the time it takes A to cover 1000 meters, this is equal to the time it takes B to cover 900 meters. So you can say that the ratio of, this is A and that is B. So you can say the ratio of B, speed of B to speed of A is 900 by 1000, which is 9 by 10. So this is what you have to do. Whenever head start distance is given, say that okay, 100 meters distance is given or 200 meters head start is given and then they reach the finish line at the same time, it becomes a question of constant time. So then say that the time that they were running together, the time which is constant for both of them, B ran 900 meters, in the same time A ran these many meters. So then you can say that since it is constant time, distance of A by speed of A is distance of B by speed of B, then you get your equation. Now suppose instead of giving a head start of say distance, suppose I gave a head start of say time. So what do I mean by head start of time? So instead of saying that go ahead by 100 meters, I say that I'll give you 10 seconds, you start 10 seconds ahead of me. So that would basically mean that B runs for 10 seconds more than A. And suppose that they reach on the finish line at the same time. Now time is different, but the distance is same. Both are running a 1 kilometer race. They are running for different times, but they are running the same race. So this becomes a question of constant distance, which would mean that if the time taken by A is t seconds, the time taken by B will be t plus 10 seconds. The distance covered by both of them is the same. So speed of B into t plus 10 will be equal to speed of A into T. So if I give a head start in terms of distance, it's a question of constant time. If I give a head start in terms of time, it's a question of constant distance. So that is the idea that I will use each time to form a equation. Understood? Anybody has any questions, any this about it? So Anima, good to see that you're wearing a Cracku t-shirt and good to know that you are very motivated. I have a lot of expectations from you, Sonima, and I hope all of you guys who are watching our stream so regularly, Nitin, I see many of these names come every single time. I am very happy that you guys are coming so regularly and so motivated, and I want all of you to do really, really well. Okay. First case, when they finish in different time. First case, if they finish in different time. Suppose A gives B a head start of say 100 meters. Okay, and still suppose A beats B by say 50 meters. That is, A started, this is 1 kilometer, B started from here, B reached end position was this is 100 meters, this is 50 meters. A started behind B but beat B by 50 meters. That basically means the time that B covers 850 meters, A covers how much? A covers 1000 meters. So even if it is given, this is basically called beat distance. I was coming to it next, but that is the basic idea. Whenever it is beat distance given or beat time given, then you have to basically say that, okay, this is the change. That, okay, if it is beat distance, it's still a question of constant time, but here beat distance also reduce, like head start reduces the distance covered by B, the beat distance also reduces the distance covered by B. So here head start reduces 100 meter and the beat distance reduces another 50 meters. So B total covers only 850 meters in the time that A covers 1000 meters. So then again you will get the ratio of their speeds. So this is basically beat distance. I'll come to it again. But basically I hope you understand, head start is the time given at the start of the race. Ki tu aage chale ja. Go ahead, I will start after you. So that is the time or distance given at the start of the race. Beat distance is the opposite. Beat distance is the distance at the end of the race. That is, if A and B end the race such that A is at the finishing line, okay, I'm this side, okay, and B is say 100 meters behind, this 100 meters is the beat distance. The same idea applies. Suppose A and B started at the same time, A reached the finish line, B is 100 meters behind. So what is the idea over here? They ran for the same amount of time. So again, this becomes a question of constant time. So you can say that since they are running for the same time, the time taken by A to cover 1000 meters divided by speed of A, this time is same as the time taken by B to cover 900 meters divided by speed of B. So since this is a question of constant time, you can form the same equation. Distance of A divided by speed of A is equal to distance of B divided by speed of B. Suppose both head starts and beat distance is there. Suppose this is 200 meters head start. Okay, B started 200 meters ahead and then ended up 100 meters behind. That still after taking a 200 meter head start, still A is ahead. Then you should say that B actually ran 1 kilometer minus 200 minus 100. So B actually ran only 700 meters. In that same time, A ran 1000 meters. So that would give you the new ratio of speed of B by speed of A. This is called beat distance. Now beat distance, you can give it you can give it either in terms of distance or you can give it in terms of time. How would I say it in terms of time? What is in terms of time? So if it is A and B, so A and B start at the same time, but suppose A reaches the finish line and say B reaches the finish line say 5 seconds later. So what does this mean? This means that for the distance that A covers in T seconds, B covers the same distance in T plus 5 seconds. This is basically time for A, this is time for B. Time is different, but what is same? Distance is same. So you can say that speed of A is into time is equal to speed of B into T plus 5. There is another relationship that you should remember. What is the relationship between the head start distance, head start time versus beat distance and beat time? See here, the beat distance is given, beating time is given in seconds. But if I say that, okay, how much is the beat distance? What would be beat distance? See, if the time is 5 seconds, who is running for this extra 5 seconds? B is running. So the beat distance will be basically this into speed of B is the beat distance. So either distance can be given or the time can be given. But either way, the speed that you have to consider whenever time is given, you have to say that that into speed of B is the beat distance. Or if beat distance is given, that divided by speed of B is the beat time. Okay. This is the idea of head start in terms of like either head start or beat. Okay, beat means that you are falling behind. You're behind when that guy reaches the front line, you're behind either by seconds or by time. Okay, either by time or by distance. So the distance can be given or the time can be given. I'll tell you a common mistake that is made here by a lot of students is that. So what is given, I'll tell you what often is a common error. So it will be given, say A is at 10 meters per second, B is some this as such, and say 8 meters per second or whatever, and it is given that say A beats B by say 5 seconds. Okay, the length of the track is not given, A beats B by 5 seconds. A lot of students make the mistake of multiplying A speed by the beat time. So they'll say, okay, 10 meters per second, 5 seconds, he was behind by 50 seconds, 50 meters. No, whenever there is beat distance or head start, you have to multiply the person who was slower. So here if I say, what was the beat distance? What should you multiply? Should you multiply by 10 meters per second or 8 meters per second? You should multiply by the guy who was beat. So here B was beaten, right? So it should say that 5 seconds was run by B. So this B covered this distance in 5 seconds. He ran at 8 meters per second, which would mean that he covered 8 meters per second into 5 seconds, which is 40 meters. So if you are saying, okay, beat distance or head start distance or beat time versus head start time, the multiplier has to be of the guy who is getting that head start or who is getting the beat. So that is basically what you have to remember. This is where a lot of people make a mistake. Understood? Guys are okay with the understanding of what is head start, what is beats? Will you be covering circular tracks also in this? B travels A minus B distance in 5 seconds. Don't consider it AB distance. This he covers this distance in 5 seconds. So what is that distance? It would be 8 meters per second into 5 seconds, so 40 meters. Okay. Correct, Sonema, you're right. Okay, that is generally a common mistake a lot of students do in their, like when they are close to answering, when they are asked, okay, they get the beat time or they get this, like the speed and they quickly multiply it with the wrong thing and give the answer. So you have to remember that whenever you are trying to figure out beat distance from beat time, you have to multiply the guy who is beaten. Okay. Now let's start. We'll do a few questions on this. Okay. I want you guys to try to solve this question. This is not a difficult question. I will say that this is exactly CAT level, I would say. Okay, timer is there, 2 minutes. Come on guys, I want you to solve this question. For questions which are slightly longer, where the text is slightly longer, I'll give you like a few seconds more than the like 30 seconds more, because I've given 2 minutes throughout, but it might be lesser for some questions. Ma'am, how to tackle head start problem in circular track? There was one in DC4 which was quite complicated. Don't worry Mukund, we'll cover circular tracks also. See, the idea of head start in circular track is only there for the first round. After that, you should just ignore the head start, because from that point you should just say that this is now the starting point, and then it becomes a normal circular tracks from that starting point. Okay, so basically consider it before that head start is completed. So if the head start is given, okay, suppose this is a circular track, it is of 1 kilometer and this is the starting point, and suppose this guy gives a head start of say 100 meters, okay. Suppose the speed of the faster guy is 10 meters per second, speed of the slower guy is say 8 meters per second. So there is 100 meters to be covered, there is a differential of 2 meters per second. It will take him 50 seconds to cover this gap of 100 meters. Now say he covers 50 seconds, so that is 500 meters. So he'll cover this gap over here. Diametrically opposite point, they will meet for the first time. From this point onwards, consider it as a simple circular tracks. Just the first meeting, the head start will take any impact. After that, say that this is a circular track. They start from the same point from this point. then it becomes a plain vanilla circular track question. So the only thing, if head start is given with circular track, consider it in two parts till they meet for the first time, and after that it becomes a plain vanilla circular tracks question. Okay, I'll give you guys 30 more seconds. I know this is slightly complicated, so try to solve this one. I hope the whole thing is visible. Okay, time is up. I want answers, and after I get the first 5-10 answers, then I'll try to discuss this. I think maybe 2 minutes was slightly lower for this because this was a longish question. Come on guys, I want all of you to answer this question. Come on. $500. Okay. I think the options are not visible. Okay, I'll show the options. Okay, I think now the options are visible. No. Where is the options? Okay, now the options are visible. I can't show both of these. Okay, so the options are this. Okay. Of these options, which is the correct one? Somebody gave me 500, so I'm giving to you that it is not 500. 350 is also not the answer. Come on guys, I know you guys can do it. Come on, try to do this. 5,000 by 9. 5,000 by 9. C, okay. There were options, Mukund, I just gave them to you. Okay, so a lot of guys got the answer C, which is 555.55 or 5,000 by 9, the same thing, okay? So this is the correct answer, but let's see how to solve this question. Okay, let's go up. X and Y are two cruises traveling between Goa and Mumbai. X starts its journey at 9 p.m. from Mumbai to Goa on Sunday, while Y starts its journey from Goa to Mumbai at 5 a.m. on Monday. They both meet at 6 a.m. So let's see, this is Mumbai to Goa, okay? The distance is, okay, they have not told the distance, but this guy starts, X starts from Goa and Mumbai. X starts from Mumbai and he starts at 9 p.m. And this guy, 9 p.m. And Y starts from Goa at 5 a.m. on Monday. So basically the next morning Monday. So 5 a.m. They meet at 6 p.m. Okay, 6 a.m. sorry. So this guy has traveled for 1 hour and this guy has traveled for 9 to 12, so that is 3 plus 6, so that is another 6, so that is a total of 9 hours. So X travels for 9 hours, Y travels for 1 hour, and the distance traveled by both of them is how much? The distance traveled by both of them is in the ratio of 4:1. The distance is 1000 kilometers. 1000 kilometers, if I split it up into a ratio of 4:1, so 4x and 1x, together it is 5x, 5x is 1000, so that would mean that this is 800 kilometer and this is 200 kilometer. Y covers this 200 kilometer in how much time? 5 am to 6 am is just 1 hour. So Y speed is how much? Y speed is 200 kilometers divided by 1 hour, that is 200 kilometer per hour. What is X's speed? I put this as speed of Y. What is X's speed? X's speed, he has covered 800 kilometers in 9 hours, so that is 800 by 9 kilometers per hour. So this much is known till now. It is known that the distance between Goa and Mumbai is 1000 kilometers. Find the head start in kilometers that needs to be given to the slower cruise from Goa to ensure that both the cruises reach Mumbai simultaneously. Now, I think one of the confusions might be that you think that this guy has to go to Y and come back. No, I'm assuming that it is just that you are covering the same distance, okay? That you are starting its journey, they meet at this, they both meet at this particular distance, the distance traveled by both of these is in this. Find a head start in kilometers that needs to be given to the slower cruise from Goa in order to ensure that they both reach Mumbai simultaneously, which means that they start from Goa. The guy, one of the faster cruises. Which of these is faster? Y is faster, clearly 200 versus 800. So therefore, this guy is going to start after some time while X is going to start early. And both of these are going to cover the 1000 kilometers. So again, this is a question of head start distance, which means what? That this is a question of, because the distance covered is different, it's a question of constant time. So the time taken by X to cover the remaining distance after a head start is given should be equal to the time taken by Y to cover the 1000 kilometers. Time taken by Y to cover the 1000 kilometers by S of Y. This is equal to the distance covered by X in the same time divided by 800 by 9. What is speed of Y? Speed of Y is 200 kilometers. This is the distance, 1000 divided by 200 kilometers per hour. This is 5 hours. So distance covered by the slower cruise in 5 hours will be 5 into 800 by 9. This is 4000 by 9. So 4000 by 9 kilometers can be done by the slower cruise, which is this X, in the same period of time, which means how much head start should be given. So both are now starting, remove all of this. This is the old scenario. Both of these are starting from Goa, going to Mumbai. Okay, they are starting from Goa and going to Mumbai, and the distance that is covered by the slower cruise, which is X, is 4000 by 9. And in that same time, this guy is going to cover the entire 1000 kilometers. So what is the head start that has to be given? That has to be 1000 minus 4000 by 9. So this would be 1000 minus 4000 by 9 is how much? That is 9000 minus 4000 divided by 9. So this is 5000 by 9 kilometers. This is the head start that has to be given. 5000 by 9 kilometers is basically 555.55, which is option C. Okay, I think the reason why some people might have complicated is that they might have thought that okay, X has to go that side, then come back, etc. No, it is very clear. Goa to Mumbai head start. Head start can only be given when one person is waiting for the other guy to start off. He has to go ahead and then I will start. So that this whole setup is completely different. You have to draw a completely different scenario. Okay, understood everybody? My couldn't understand. Okay. Okay, I hope you understand. I hope you guys understood that the speed of Y is 200 and speed of X is 800 by 9. Now, if you are going at, this is the scenario, okay? Now it is the second scenario. You are asking about how much head start has to be given such that both of them reach at the same time. This is their speed. Y is clearly faster than X. So if Y has to reach at the same time as X, X has to get some head start. X will therefore cover a much shorter distance in the same time. So let's say that this is the total distance you have to cover. This is X and Y. X has to get some head start. So X will start from this point. He will get a head start of this much, which is H. Okay. And therefore we will say that the time that this is Mumbai, they will reach Mumbai at the same time. Which means that suppose this is the distance that X covers, that is D. So D, the time that X takes to cover D distance, this divided by H of X, is the same time that Y takes to cover the entire 1000 kilometers divided by S of Y. The whole distance divided by S of Y. Okay. So what exactly is this? What should be the value of D in this case? 1000 into S of X divided by S of Y. S of X is 800 by 9. So this I can say 800 by 9 divided by 200. How much is this? This is 4 times. So this is 4000 by 9 kilometers. So the time it takes Y to cover 1000 kilometers, in the same time X can cover only 4000 by 9 kilometers. It can cover much shorter distance, which means that it needs to be given a head start of 1000 minus 4000 by 9 kilometers so that both of them reach the end point at the same time. 1000 minus 4000 by 9 kilometers is how much? That is 5000 by 9 kilometers, which is option C. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to the next, this next question. 4,000 by 9 is the distance that is going to be covered in the same time. So basically, ये दोनों का race is unequal race. Whatever is the time taken by x to cover 4,000 by 9 kilometers, that same time, उतने ही time में y एक full 1,000 kilometers कर देगा. So if I am going to cover only 4,000 by 9, इसका मतलब है कि I have to be ahead by 1,000 minus 4,000 by 9. तभी हम लोग एक साथ reach करेंगे ना. Only if I cover much shorter distance. मैं थोड़ा ही distance करूंगी, तुम बहुत ज़्यादा distance करोगे, तभी एक साथ हम लोग reach करेंगे. Which means that I have to be ahead by that 1,000 minus 4,000 by 9. So I have to be ahead by 5,000 by 9, which is 55.55. Let's take a look at another question. Okay, head starts is not that difficult. I'm sure you guys can do it. This is like a plain vanilla head start. Very simple, सीधा साधा question है, very simple question. Direct theory. I want you to try to solve this. Jani, good to see that you understood. Okay. Samir, ma'am, I just scored a meager 66 in DashCat 6, 33, 12, 21. It's not meager at all. 66 is a fairly decent score. And 21 in DashCat 6 is not bad in quant. 33 in verbal is also a fairly good score. The only score which is slightly on the lower side is DILR. See, if you get your DILR to like say, if you're able to do 2 sets, right? If you're able to do 2 sets, you're solving say 9 questions, 5 set plus 4 set. Okay? If you're able to do 2 of those, 9 into 3, 27. Even if not 27, if you get to like say even 24 as such, even that is a fairly decent score. 12 in DILR is cutting it very close. It will actually make it difficult for you to clear some of the cutoffs. So I would say that right now, if I was in your place, I would just focus first on DILR. I'd solve a lot of sets from DILR. I'd just focus and try to get my puzzles, charts, arrangements in tables 1 done so that anything comes from this, I should be able to solve. Quant 21 is slightly on the lower side. You have to then figure out, okay, what should be the next area that I can do with. In quant, okay, if I can do arithmetic, next, what can I do? I can do maybe logarithms. I can do say quadratic equations. Try to build areas or sources of strength. Try to get to 30. I think 33 in VARC is a fairly decent score. But again, you should have the same mindset that what can I do further? I want 5% increase, 1% increase, 2% increase. Every small percentage increase, right? Like 5% better anywhere will cumulatively mean that you are 20-30% better overall. So try to find those small gains. Samir, it will take time, so have faith and keep practicing. See, many times what happens is that in quant, you practice, you attend the stream, you feel better. I didn't start timer. Okay, I forgot timer, but okay, 2 minutes from now and I want some answers. But see, basically what I feel is that when a quant, if you attend a session, you do some questions, you feel confident, you are able to solve the questions. DILR and VARC, the gains are not immediate. In quant, the gains are immediate. Because of that, you feel that, okay, things are improving. But DILR and VARC, the gains require like a lot of time to come. It takes like 2 months for you to even see real improvement. And a lot of people like lose faith by then. They lose motivation by then, and then they stop doing it. So I want you to believe that, okay, now immediately I won't see an improvement. Maybe not for the first month or so. Maybe after 2 months I'll see improvement. But I have to keep up with the process till then. Don't lose faith or motivation, because it might just be that you are like close to getting the real improvement or real breakthrough, but you stop before that. Okay, how many people are getting some answers are there? I guess, okay, C, okay. Firstly, for the last question, I forgot to say who came first. The person who got it first, I think, was Naman. Okay, the guy who got it first last time was Naman with 5,000 by 9, then Aryan, then Zoya. Over here, who is first? Who is first over here? I think it is Create Will got it first, then Suraj, then Aditya, then Meti, then Ajay Gupta, Vikas Chaudhary. All of you got it right. Okay, good job all of you guys. Okay, so let's see what is the question. in a 100-meter race, if A gives B a start of 20 meters, then A wins the race by 5 seconds. Alternately, if A gives B a head start of 40 meters, the race ends in dead heat. How long does A take to run 200 meters? So let us consider there is scenario 1 and then there is scenario 2. In the first scenario, A gives B a head start of 20 meters, then A wins the race by 5 seconds. So A and B start over here. B starts 20 meters ahead and B ends over here, B dash. This is 5 seconds and A is at the finish line already. So that means that when A covers the entire 100 meters, B will take 5 more seconds to reach the final. On the other side, if A and B are starting at the same time, okay, and A gives A head start of 40 meters. This is 40 meters. B is running from here. The race ends in dead heat. Dead heat means what? They reach the finish line at the same time, exact same time. So they reach the finish line at the same time. From this, what can I say about the speed ratio of speeds of A and B? This is a clear-cut example of head start with constant time. They are starting at they are not starting at the same time, but they are ending on the same time. They are running different distances, but from the time that he is starting from here, A is starting from here, and they reach the end point at the same time. So 100 meters, so the time taken by B to run these 60 meters is the same as the time taken by A to run the whole 100 meters, which means what? Which means that 100 meters by speed of A is equal to 60 meters by speed of B. So what is the ratio of speed of B by speed of A? This is 60 by 100, that is 3 by 5. So whatever is the speed of A, the speed of B is 3/5 of that. So let's say that the speed of A is 5x. So speed of B will be how much? This is 3x, right? Now consider the case when A gives a head start of 20 meters. What do you see happening? Here B is 5 seconds behind. 5 seconds behind is basically into 3x, it is 15x meters behind. So the time taken by A to cover 1000 meters, no not 1000, 100 meters, in the same time that it takes A to cover 100 meters, this is like 5x. In that same time, how much distance does B cover? 100 minus 20 minus 15x. So that is 80 minus 15x. It is going to cover that same distance at the speed of 3x, right? This cancels with this. What do I get? I get that this is 300. Wait, what did I do? Yeah, so this is 300 is equal to 400 minus 75x. So 75x is how much? 75x is equal to 100, or x is equal to 4 by 3 meters per second. Okay, x is 4 by 3 meters per second. So what does it mean? What would be the speed of A then be? A is 5x, so that would be 5 times 4 by 3 meters per second. So speed of A will be how much? This will be 20 by 3 meters per second. This is speed of A, 20 by 3 meters per second. We are asked how long does A take to run 200 meters. Time taken by A to run 200 meters would be 200 divided by the speed of A, which is 20 by 3 meters per second. This cancels. This is 10 times 10 into 3. This is 30 seconds. So how much time does it take for him to run that distance? It is option C, 30 seconds. Okay. So what did I do over here? I used the second scenario, got a relationship between speed of B and speed of A, express speed of A as 5x, speed of B as 3x. Beat distance was not given. If beat distance is given, then it is so much easier. But beat distance was not given, beat time was given. So I first converted the beat time into beat distance, because beat distance is basically beat time into speed of B. So 5 seconds into 3x meters per second, this is 15x meters. So the time taken by A to cover 100 meters divided by 5x, this is the same time that B will take to cover 100 minus 20, which is the head start, that is 80, minus 15x divided by 3x, x cancels, I cross multiply, I get x is equal to 4 by 3 meters per second. Because I know that x is 4 by 3 meters per second, I get the speed of A. From that, I get the time taken. Very simple, very easy, right? One more question, okay. Any guys, any this? Ma'am, my quant LRD is good, but my VRC is weak. How do I do, ma'am? What should I do? See, basically, create, I would say that keep practicing RC. Just like focus only on RC. For those guys who are in 30s in VRC, you can do some of RC, you can practice some of VA also. You have to give equal importance, not equal, but you have to give some importance to both. But those who are weak in VRC, to the point where you are like intense or you're under 20, you should just exclusively focus on RC. Just focus on getting RC scores till like you're able to do 3 RCs with some reasonable accuracy. The reason for that is that VA is basically add-on. It is additional gain. But your base value should come from RC. You have to do well in RC. If you're struggling in VRC section, RC should be like your laser focus on RC. Okay? Anybody has any issues with this particular question, or we can move on? I think we can move on. I think this is a fairly simple list. I think this is for all students. Your regular reminder that please start taking mocks. For the students who are not subscribed to Cracku's courses, even then you can actually take our mocks. We have 3 free CAT mocks that you guys can take. So please try to take the mocks, because this is taken by a large number of students. It will be an accurate representation of the serious aspirants, as well as it will give you a correct representation of the format, difficulty level, everything. In addition to that, what I would also ask every student to do is please take the previous year's papers. You can either download them as PDFs or take them in the mock format, but I would personally recommend that you take them in the mock format. In that particular scenario, you will get a very good idea of how you're doing, how you're performing, what is your strength, weakness, etc. But if you are able to not do that in the mock format, at least download the PDF and use that as like regular practice. You should be able to solve every single question that was asked in the previous year's papers. In addition to that, for those guys who are in their revision phase, you completed the syllabus, you want to revise. How do you revise? We have excellent revision videos. We have covered every single topic in detail. So do see our revision videos for quick revision. I don't want you to go through the concept videos all over again, because there is a much easier, much faster way to do that. Okay, so let's go to the next topic, which is of relative velocity. I'll tell basically relative velocity because it is needed for 2 things. It is needed for actually 3 things. It is needed for circular tracks, it is needed for boats and streams, and it is needed for escalators. So for all of that, we need to understand what is relative velocity. See, relative velocity is basically, think of it in this way. So if I stand like this, what is my velocity? Right now, what is my velocity? You can say my velocity is 0, but that is not true. We are standing on Earth, the Earth is spinning. So the Earth is spinning around the Sun. So Earth has some velocity around the Sun. Similarly, the Sun is also spinning in the Milky Way galaxy. So because of that, everything, even if I consider with relative to Earth, there is some velocity for everything, because the Earth itself is not stationary. But if I have to calculate a time speed distance, and every time I'm calculating Earth's spin and Earth's rotation, I'd go mad. So for that sake of calculation, what do? We assume the point of reference that Earth is stationary. If Earth is stationary, then everything is considered with relation or with respect to Earth. Why is that? To ease calculation. Another way to actually do this, where you actually not just consider Earth to be the point of reference, when you have multiple things moving, especially when you have circular tracks, trains, etc., one way to ease calculation is to make one of the moving objects as the frame of reference. See, assume that this A is moving towards B. Okay, A and B are both moving towards each other. Suppose C is also moving. There are 3 objects. How many things will you consider? How many equations can you make? All of this will be very tiring. So what I could actually do instead is that instead of assuming that Earth is my point of reference, I'll assume B is my point of reference. So what happens if B is my point of reference? I'll assume that B is stationary. The way I assume Earth is stationary, I assume B is stationary. B is not moving. But what happens is that because I assume B is stationary, I have to give its velocity to somebody, right? If A is moving towards B and B is also moving towards A, clearly I have to move, I have to put B's velocity somewhere so that I actually show that things are moving faster to each other. So when people are moving towards each other, or rather in opposite direction, A is moving towards east, B is moving towards west. If they are moving in opposite direction, you have to consider that relative velocity of A with respect to B. Suppose I make B the stationary object. the relative velocity of A with respect to B will be speed of A plus speed of B. Here this is basically relative velocity of A will become equal to this. What would be the velocity of B in this case? The velocity of B in this case, since I have assumed that B is the stationary object, that will become 0. So what I am assuming is that instead of both of us running towards each other, I assume I am stationary and I give my velocity off to you, and I assume you are running doubly fast towards me. You are running towards me with both of our velocities. Why do this? So just see over here, okay. A is moving towards B, C is moving towards B. Suppose A is moving towards B at 10 meters per second, B is moving towards C at 2 meters per second. This B's velocity is say 8 meters per second. Now I could actually find out how, and suppose the distance between them is say 100 meters. I could actually figure out this, how much time would it take for them to meet, etc. A and B to meet, A and C to meet. I could figure that out. But I would say that why do all of this work? What I'll say is that let B be stationary. So A speed relative to B will be how much, since they are moving in opposite directions? A speed relative to B will be 10 plus 8, 18 meters per second. The distance between them is 100 meters. He is moving towards B at 18 meters per second. So this would be the time taken for him to meet B. Similarly, if C and B are moving towards each other, they are 100 meters apart, their speeds will also be added. So 10 plus 2, it will be 8 plus 2, that is 10 meters per second. So they will meet in 10 seconds. So this way I can quickly calculate how much time will be taken. Now suppose C is not moving in this direction. Suppose C is moving in the opposite direction. Okay, C is moving like this. In this particular case, B and C are moving in the same direction. How much time would it take for B and C to meet each other? If they are moving in the same direction, you can say that since I and you are running in the same direction, from my perspective, you are actually running slower from me. From my perspective, I am gaining on you. I am like reaching you. I am covering the distance. So what should I say? I will actually think that because we are running in the same direction, your velocity is essentially negative velocity because you are running away from me. So I'll say that the velocity of B with respect to C would be how much? The relative velocity of B with respect to C, because C is essentially running away from B, would be negative velocity. So I'd say this is 8 meters per second minus 2 meters per second, because every second I am gaining, I am covering 8 meters, you are running away 2 more meters. So in general, I am just 8 minus 2, I am just covering 6 meters of the distance between us. So when people are running in the same direction, then you have to subtract the speeds. When they are running in opposite directions, you have to add the speeds. When they are running in the same directions, you have to take the difference of the speeds. This is the idea of relative velocity. Relative velocity, remember that the distance covered will be, overall distance covered will be same. The overall time taken will be same. But the individual distance covered by each one of them will be different. So if I say that, okay, this is, okay, let's consider between absolute frame of reference versus relative frame of reference, okay. Suppose this is like A and B are running towards each other, okay. This is 5 meters per second, B is 3 meters per second, and suppose this is 2000 meters, okay. Now if I ask you, how much time would it take for A and B to meet? They are running in say opposite directions. How much time would it take for them to meet? 2000 meters, they are running in opposite direction. The relative velocity will be 5 plus 3, that is 8 meters per second. Time taken will be 2000 divided by 5 plus 3, that is 8 meters per second. From this I'll get time. Whether it is an absolute case or relative case, the time taken will not change. But what changes is the time. If I assume that B is stationary, what will change is the point of meeting. So if I am considering relative velocity, I should not use relative velocity to figure out the point of meeting. Because if I assume in relative velocity terms, okay, if I say that this is A, this is B, B is moving at 3 meters per second, A is moving at 5 meters per second, this is 2000 meters. I start by saying that let's make B stationary, I'll transfer all the velocity to A, and A will move at 8 meters per second. Then you will say that, okay, they meet at this point. But that will be wrong. They won't meet at that point. That is basically saying that when you're calculating time taken is the same whether it is relative frame or absolute frame. But if you want to find the point of meeting, That you have to do only in absolute frame. So what you should really do is, you should figure out the time taken to meet. So together, how much time would it take to meet? So 1000 by 4 is 250 seconds it would take, 250 seconds. Then you say that they meet at 250 seconds. In 250 seconds, this guy would have covered how much distance? This guy would have covered 1250 meters. In 250 seconds, this guy would have covered 750 meters. So when you have to figure out in relative frame or absolute frame, you can both, in either frame you can find out the time that they will meet. But to find the point that they meet, always consider only the absolute frame. First calculate time that they would take to meet from relative frame, multiply that by the actual individual speeds to figure out the actual point of meeting, which is somewhere over here, which is 1250 meters from the starting point of A and 750 meters from the starting point of B. This is the only two things that I want you to remember. Things are moving opposite direction, add, same direction, subtract, and when you are using relative velocity, use it only to calculate time of meeting. To calculate the point of meeting, use absolute values, don't consider relative velocity. Okay, understood? Let's take a question, and I'm sure many of you will crack it. Fairly easy question, let's try to do this one. Oh, sorry, circular track, sorry. I'll be solving relative velocity. I needed to solve questions on circular tracks, okay? Now, what is a circular track? Circular track is basically, instead of running in a straight line, we were doing races and head starts till now, no? Instead of running in a straight line, suppose people are running in circles, which is what is the case in most like stadiums. You don't have a single straight track, you have a circular track. So in circular track, the thing that happens is that A and B are running either in the same direction or in opposite directions, and they will meet, if I'm doing laps around the circle, they will meet at different points on that circle. So circular tracks helps you understand where they will meet, how much time will they take to meet, and how many different points that they will meet at. Suppose the speed of A is S of A and the speed of B is S of B. Okay, you're supposed to find out if A and B are running laps around this particular circle, where would they meet? Always remember, one of the meeting points that they will have will always be the starting point. If they start from the same point, right, that will always be one of the meeting points. So one way you can be asked is, how much time does it take for them to meet at the starting point again? So if I have to figure out, okay, how much time does it take for them to meet at the starting point again? How do I figure out? Suppose this is a 800 meter track, and suppose A runs at say 4 meters per second and this guy runs at say 2 meters per second. So for running this entire track, how much time would A take? A would take say 200 seconds and B would take say 400 seconds. So if I have to say that, okay, when do they meet at the starting point again? This is the time taken by A to complete one lap. This is the time taken by B to complete another lap. To find out the time at which all, like there are say C, D, any number of people, first thing that we have to do is find the time for each one of them to complete one lap. The time taken for all of them to meet at the starting point will be the lowest common multiple of the time taken by each one of them to complete a lap. So in this case, there are only two runners, so it will be the LCM of 200 seconds and 400 seconds, which is basically 400 seconds. So they will meet again at the starting line at 400 seconds. Okay, this is the basic idea. This is basically how much time will they take to meet at the starting point again. That will be the LCM of the time it takes for each one of them to complete a lap. More commonly, that is not what is asked. More commonly, what you are asked is, how many different points do they meet? What is the first point of meeting or second point of meeting or third point of meeting? So there is a formula over here which is based on relative velocity. So suppose that this is the and suppose speed of A is say 5 meters per second, speed of B is say 3 meters per second. Okay. If you are asked, okay, if they are running in the same direction, both are running counterclockwise, in how many different points would they meet? Now consider, okay, they are starting at the same point, they are running both counterclockwise. How many distinct points can they possibly meet at? Okay, this guy completes, say this is say 1000 meters. Okay, in 5 meters per second, so in 200 meters he is completing the whole lap. In this guy is 100, okay, not a very good, this 5 meters, say 2 meters per second. So in 100, if this is 1000 meters, in 200 seconds, he is completing the whole lap. In 200 seconds, while S completes one whole round, A has come over here already. B in 200 seconds would have covered only 400 meters till here. So A has completed one whole round, he has come back over here, and B has gotten only like till 400 meters. Then let's say that S again starts running, okay? How much time would it take for him, both of them, to catch up again? What would be the point at which they would catch up? So let us consider over here, he is now running again. There's a distance of like say 400 meters between them. The relative velocity is 5 minus 2, that is 3 meters per second. 400 divided by 3, that would be basically the time it would take. 400 by 3 meters per second, 400 by 3 seconds would be taken. So 5 into 400 by 3 would be 2000 by 3. So they will meet somewhere over here. 2000 by 3 is basically 666.67 meters. So they will meet somewhere over here. The head start, or rather the distance between them, will be 400 meters. Relative velocity will be 5 meters per second minus 2 meters per second, 3 meters per second. And they would meet after 400 divided by 3 seconds, which will be this point. Similarly, you will find that another meeting point would be over here, which is like if this is 1000 by 3 meters, this is 2000 by 3 meters, or 2/3 of the same this. So what do you see? That when people are running in the same direction, when it is 5 meters per second and 2 meters per second, there are 3 distinct meeting points. The starting point is one meeting point, this is one meeting point, this is one meeting point. So there are 3 meeting points. There is a general rule for that. So if you have the speed is say SA and SB, okay, and they are moving, suppose, in the same direction. They are moving both clockwise or both counterclockwise. In that case, first thing that you have to do is take the ratio of SA and SB, and you have to reduce it to the lowest form. So if you have 10 by 6, I take the ratio, I'll say this is 5 by 3. Reduce it first to the lowest form, and once you have reduced it to the lowest form, the number of meeting points will be how much? This will be modulus of m minus n. This will be the number of meeting points. In the case of 5 meters per second and 3 meters per second, of 2 meters per second, how many meeting points were there? That would be SA by SE will be 5 by 2, that is in the lowest form. So the number of meeting points would be 5 minus 2. This is equal to how many? 3 meeting points. Now a lot of people incorrectly assume that since there are 3 meeting points, if they start over here, this will be the first meeting point, this will be the second meeting point, this will be the third meeting point, and so on. No, it is not the case. As I showed you in this particular scenario, they start over here, but the first meeting point is this one. Then the second meeting point is this one. Then the third meeting point is this one. So it is not necessarily in the same order clockwise. It is not that they will first meet here, then here, then here. First meeting point is actually here. Second meeting point is here. Third meeting point is here. So you have to remember, you can only tell what is the number of meeting points, but you can't tell what is the order of meeting points until you actually calculate where they meet, until you calculate how much time it takes relative for one to other to actually cover one extra round. Okay, so the number of meeting points, if they are moving in the same direction, take the ratio, cut the ratio to the lowest form. The modulus of the difference between those values is the number of distinct meeting points. Now suppose they are moving in different directions. Suppose A is moving counterclockwise, B is moving clockwise. What would be the number of meeting points in that case? In that case, do the same. Do m by n, find the lowest ratio. But the number of meeting points, if they are running in the same, in opposite directions, this will be m plus n. Okay, so if they are running 5 meters per second counterclockwise, 2 meters per second counterclockwise, what would be the number of meeting points? 5 by 2 is the lowest form. That would be 5 plus 2, that is 7 meeting points. Where would they meet for the first time? So basically that would mean that, okay, A starts from here, B starts from here. B will cover 2/7 of 1000 meters, so that will be 2000 by 7 meters somewhere, and A will cover 5000 by 7. So that would be the first meeting point. So you can basically figure out what is the first meeting point, but it will know there will be 7 meeting points, but they need not be in the same order clockwise. So you will suddenly find here, then here, then here, then here. They will be in any order, but you can just tell from this particular formula how many meeting points are there. So this is the formula for the number of meeting points in circular tracks. If they are running in the same direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, then you take the difference in the difference of their speeds. Difference of their speeds when you are taken the ratio to the lowest form, then take the difference of the speeds, And if they are running in opposite directions, you have to take the sum of m and n. Okay, simple? Understood everybody? Ma'am, question bata do. Okay, giving questions. Okay, let's go to the questions. Okay, this is a Tita question. I want you guys to answer this. This is not a difficult question by any means. I think you can do it in 2 minutes. Ajay, if you can put what the question is, I can answer. I can't see your question actually. So unless you put the question, I can't answer it. 1 point. It is 30, 4, 30. Options, there are no options. Unfortunately, there are no options. I'm getting a lot of different answers, but the best way to solve it is draw it out. Whenever I feel that, okay, I'm getting confused, I draw it out. So consider the different scenarios, different cases, pairs of people, and draw out the number of cases that are there. Okay? There are many answers. Okay, so that means ये थोड़ा difficult question है. Try it, draw it out, be patient. I'll give you 30 seconds more. Try to answer this. कोई नंबर है नहीं जो आया नहीं अब तक. Like 12, 13, 10, 5, 4, 6, सब कुछ, everything has come. Ajay, I got your answer. It's okay. You need not spam. Guys, once I'll give 30 seconds more. One hint: 12 is not the answer. Guys, a hint: 12 is not the answer. I'm giving 30 seconds more. Try to see where you made a mistake. Come on. I'm sure you guys can make that, figure that out. Come on. Is this an easy question? It is an easy question. After I show the answer, it is very easy. Because conceptual question, if you know the concept, it is trivial. It is not difficult to solve. But if concept is weak, then you will make mistakes. It's a very, very easy conceptual question. If the concept is clear, it is trivial question. Like within 1 minute, you should be able to solve. Okay, so time is up. So I'll tell who the correct answers were, who got it right first. So let me see who got it right first. 1 point. Shubham got it right first. Shubham is, you got it right first, then Naman, then lot of wrong answers, then lot of wrong answers. I think because so many people were putting 12, I think the guys who even got 4 were like maybe I got the wrong answer, but 4 is the right answer. But let's see how to do it. 4 friends, Akhil, Saurav, Ravi and Gary are moving on a circular track in the same direction. All started running simultaneously and from the same point such that the ratio of their speeds was 2:3:5:6 respectively. How many unique points are there on the circular track where any pair of the friends meet? So any 2 can meet. So this is the circular track. Okay, this is the starting point. What is their speed? So this is given as a continued like big proportion. So I'll put it as 2x, 3x, 5x and 6x. Now I consider how many pairs are there. 4 people taken 2 at a time. There are 6 pairs. 4C2 is 6. So the 6 pairs are 2x and 3x, 2x and 5x, 2x and 6x. Thank you. Yeah. 3x and 5x, 3x and 6x, and 5x and 6x. These are our 6 pairs. Sorry about this, thoda like ran out of space, but that's okay. Now these are our 6 pairs. Okay, this is my starting point. For the pair 2x and 3x, what are the points? How many points will be there? Their ratio will be 2:3. Are they running in the same direction or opposite direction? They start simultaneously from the same point such that the ratio of this, and they are moving in the same direction. So since it is same direction, it will be modulus 3 minus 2. So there will be only one point of meeting, which is this point. So let's say that this is A, which is the starting point. For the first pair, there is only one point of meeting, which is the starting point. They are 2:3 in the same direction. So in the lowest form, it is 2:3. I take the modulus 3 minus 2. The number of unique meeting points is 1. Okay. Now consider 2x and 5x. Their ratio in the lowest form is 2:5. Again in the same direction, modulus of 5 minus 2. That is 3. So there are 3 meeting points, including this starting point. So the other 2 meeting points would be 1/3 and 2/3. So this would be B and C. These are the other 2 meeting points. So till now, how many meeting points I have gotten? For the first 2 pairs combined, I have gotten 3 meeting points. Then this one. This is in the lowest form, this is 1:3. 2:6 is 1:3, right? If I take in the lowest form. So 1:3, that is modulus of 3 minus 1. So there will be 2 meeting points. This one over here, I am dividing the circle in 2 parts. Okay. Earlier I was dividing it into 2 parts. So I was saying 1, 0, 1/3, 2/3. Now there are 2 meeting points. I have to divide the circle into 2 equal parts. So this is the first one, and the diametrically opposite one would be the other one. How many meeting points have I gotten till now? 1, 2, 3. For 3 pairs, I have gotten 4 meeting points. Now consider 3x and 5x. What is the number of, what is their ratio in the lowest form? 3:5. Modulus of 5 minus 3, 2. 5 minus 3, 2 meeting points will again be A and D only. Again 3x, 6x. That is again 1:2. 1:2 is the ratio. How many meeting points? In the lowest form, it is modulus of 2 minus 1, that is 1. So this guy is meeting only at A, only 1 meeting point for the second last pair. 5x, 6x. 5x is to 6x, 5:6 is the ratio. In the lowest form, 6 minus 5, there is only 1 meeting point. So for these two, there is only 1 meeting point, which is A. So A is the only meeting point for the last 2 pairs. For this, it is A and D. For this, again it is A and D. For this, it is A, B, C. And for this, it is A. So how many total points are there? If I see my final circle, how many different points are there? There is A, B, C and D. Only 4 points are there, 4 distinct points. At only at these 4 distinct points do any pair of the friends meet. So the answer is what? Answer is 4. Did anybody have any difficulty with this one? 4. Datta Vishal, yes, this is the correct answer. How do we know the later meeting points are the same as the ones before? They are starting from the same point. It is not that, okay, sabka alag points hoga. Whenever you have, say, I'll make this clear again because there is some confusion, okay. This is the circle. They are starting from the same point. All 4 of them are starting from the same point. If there is only 1 meeting point, the starting point is the meeting point. If there are 2 meeting points, this point and the opposite point are the 2 meeting points. You have to split the circle into half. If there are 3 meeting points, then 0, 1/3, 2/3 are the 3 meeting points. If there are 4 meeting points, then 0, 1/4, 2/4, that is half, 3/4 and this. These are the 4 meeting points. If there are 5 meeting points, so 0, 1/5, 2/5. 2/5 will be that side, sorry. 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. These are the 5 meeting points. 0, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5 are the 5 meeting points. If there are 6 meeting points, 0, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, these are the 6 meeting points. So basically they will always overlap. If all 4 start from the same point, for all of them they will be the overlapping points. If it is that 2 meeting points are there, those 2 meeting points have to be the starting point and the opposite point. That's it. If they start from different points, then it will be chaos. But that is not the case. All of them started from the same point. That's why their meeting points overlapped. Okay? Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, guys, try to solve this question. This is slightly longish. Okay, this is a theta question. Okay, this is the whole length of the question. It's a theta question. There are no options. In this, can we do at least 3 pairs? But at least 3 pairs will not make sense. See, basically when you're considering the number of meeting points, right, you have to take individual meeting points. Then if you say that, okay, 3 people meet at the same point. So A is a meeting point common for all pairs. So then you can say that all 4 meet at only A. Then you say that, okay, which other point is common for all 4? So B is common for 3 out, no, how many of the 4 B was common? I think for 3, B was also there. For some, it was like, basically I think 3 was not common for B, it was common for 3 of them. C and D were common, C and D was only common for I think 1 of them. So over here, basically what you see is that for 3 of them, you have to first do the pairwise only and say that, okay, this guy is A, B, C. This guy is A and B. This guy is A, B, C. So then you can say that, okay, B is coming these many times. A is coming these many times. This guy is going to A, B, C. This guy is going to this. Then you can say that the number of points where these guys meet would be this. The number of points that these guys meet would be this. But again, you have to basically see that would they meet at the same time? They would probably meet at the same time after a few number of like LCM of multiples of time that it takes. But you have to basically first do pairwise and then consider 3 at a time. If they are running in opposite direction, kya hoga? The number of points increase because then you have to take the addition of the points. So if it is 2:6, it is 1:3. Then there will be 1 plus 3, that is 4 points. So the same answer, try to calculate the number of points. The number of points would be higher. But do the same thing. Try to consider the circle and try to mark each of these individually. Okay? We are not getting the air. Please present in board in ma'am in last. We are not getting in air. Okay. Okay, one second. Which one? Santosh, I didn't understand. What do you want me to show on the board? Okay. In 3 pairs. Okay, got it. 1 second. Okay, so in that previous question, yeah. So over here, I think because I erased, it will not be visible. But basically what I had said is that, suppose you draw it, okay? And you say that for first pair, they meet only at A. Another pair meet at A, B, C. Another pair meet at A and D. Okay? Then another pair meet again at A, B, C. Then another pair meet at A and D. So then for each of these points, A, B, C, D, you tell which of the friends is there. So say that there were from Gary, some 4 guys, right? So then say that, okay, Gary and like all 4 of the friends, like whatever, Gary, Larry, whatever, Harry, and Midge, all 4 of them will meet here. Okay, B, only 2 of them will meet or 3 of them will meet. So then B will not be a point in which 3 friends meet. D, say of the 4 friends, suppose 3 of these come here, say Larry, Gary, Harry. So then say that if I want the meeting point of 3 friends, there are 2 points, D and A. D, all 4 meet. A, all 4 meet. D, at least 3 of the 4 meet. B and D only say a couple of this meet. So this is, sorry, B and C only 2 meet at a time. So again, what you have to do is do the same thing. You have to figure out pair-wise how many meeting points are there. Then say that, okay, these 2, like say Larry and Gary meet at A. Larry and Harry meet at A, B, C. Larry and this guy meet at A and D. So by finding that out for each of those points, see that who is meeting at that point. Then you can say that 3 people are meeting at this point. So this point is a 3 people point. So if you are counting how many points are there where at least 3 people meet, then you can count only those points which are common to at least 3 people. Then you can say that of this overall 4 meeting points, there are only 2 meeting points such that they are common to 3 people. Okay. So did you guys solve this question? This question is easy or hard? Why is this not answered? Okay. Easy, hard, which one? 1125 seconds. 1125, Shubham, 1125, 1125, 1125. So easy, many of you guys are getting the answer. So is this easy or is this hard? I think this is an easy question, a typical question in a way. But I think this is the kind of question Mukund doesn't like, which has head start with circular tracks. But let's try to do it. It's not difficult, okay? Abhay and Bhanu are participating in a running event. Do you guys need more time? Otherwise, I'll start with the explanation. Ma'am, just solve, don't put timer, flow will break. And also concentration, we will follow. Easy, moderate. No, I'm giving you timer so that you can solve it on your own. I don't want to just solve myself. I want you guys to attempt. That's the whole reason, right? Okay, so we'll start. I think enough time has happened since I gave this. So let's try to solve this question. Abhay and Bhanu are participating in a running event on a circular track. The track is 800 meters and the speeds of Abhay and Bhanu are 20 meters per second and 17 meters per second respectively. At the start, Abhay gives Bhanu a head start of 200 meters. After their first meet, Abhay halves his speed and Bhanu doubles his speed. After the second meet, Abhay doubles his speed and Bhanu halves his speed. They follow the same pattern throughout the event. How much time will it take for them to meet on the track for the 15 times starting from the beginning? Okay, this is our track. Sorry. Okay, this is an 800 meter track. Abhay and Bhanu start from the same point and starting in this, at the start gives head start and he gives head start. So B is not in the same point, he is 200 meters ahead. Okay. At the start gives a head start of 200 meters. Their first meet, 200 meters is 1/4, sorry. Why is this erasing the whole thing? Okay, 1/4. So at 200 meters, B starts from here and their first meet, Abhay halves his speed and Bhanu doubles his speed. So they are running in the same direction because they are running in a race. So they will be running in the same direction. And once Abhay meets Bhanu, he halves his speed and Bhanu doubles his speed. After the second meet, Abhay doubles his speed and Bhanu halves his speed. They follow the same pattern. How much time in seconds will it take for them to meet on the track for the 15th time starting from the beginning? So as I mentioned to Mukund, in such cases, first, they're considered into 2 parts, okay? One is the part for him to actually cover the head start. Take that separately. Once he covers the head start and once they meet for the first time, from that point on, consider the meetings differently, okay? So for him to actually cover the head start is 200 meters. They are running in the same direction. They are running in a race, so they are moving in the same direction. So if they are running in the same direction, there is a distance of 200 meters between them. This guy is running at 20 meters per second. This guy is running at the same direction at 12 meters per second. If they're running in the same direction, should I add their speed or should I subtract their speed? If people are running in the same direction, you deduct the speed. So I will take 20 meters per second minus 12 meters per second. So the relative velocity of A with respect to B is 20 minus 12, which is 8 meters per second. So 200 divided by 8 would be how many seconds? 200 by 8 is 25 seconds. So it will take him 25 seconds for Abhay to reach Bhanu for the first time. So for the first meeting, how much time is it taking? So for the first meeting, I don't have much space, so I'll then erase the circular this. You guys know that this is circular track. So for the first meeting, how much time do they take? First meeting, they are taking 200 by 8, which is 25 seconds. Now from the second meeting, just assume that they are now running in their race for this 800 meters. They are meeting after they are covering 800 meters with respect to other. So what do I mean? How much time would they take for them to meet at the meet again? See, basically when two people in a circular track, if they are running in opposite directions, okay, then you add their speeds. If they are running in the same direction, you subtract their speeds. But for them to meet for the second time, basically they have to cover a distance, combined distance of the length of the circular track. Here the distance is 800 meters. So whatever the relative velocity, the distance is 800 meters. So after they meet for the first time, okay, this guy's Abhay speed halves. So now speed of Abhay will be equal to how much? Half of 20, so that is 10 meters per second. Half Bhanu speed doubles, so that will be twice of 12, which is 24 meters per second. But what would be the relative velocity? Since they are moving in the same direction, we have to take the difference. So that would be speed of Bhanu is greater, so it would be Bhanu minus speed of Abhay. So the relative velocity at which they cover would be 24 minus 10, which is 14 meters per second. What does this mean? This means that Abhay started over here, Bhanu was here, he caught up with Bhanu somewhere over here. Now Abhay and Bhanu have met over here. Abhay's speed decreases, Bhanu's increases. So from this point on, when would they meet again? Bhanu is running faster. Bhanu is running faster and ahead of Abhay. So for them to meet ahead or meet at the same time, essentially what is going to happen is that Bhanu is going to cover one entire rotation and then meet up with Abhay somewhere such that Bhanu has done one more lap than Abhay. So essentially Bhanu is going to do an extra 800 meters. Once she does that extra 800 meters, she is going to meet again with Abhay. Which means that if you consider relative velocity, I assume that Abhay is stationary. Bhanu covers this entire 800 meters. I am still sitting here. I am sitting pretty. I am Abhay. I am sitting pretty over here. I am stationary. But the relative velocity of Bhanu with respect to Abhay is 24 minus 10. So 14 meters per second. So Bhanu has to cover this entire distance and come back over here to meet for the second time. So how much time would it take for her to do that? That would be 800 divided by 14 meters per second. So the time taken for the second meeting would be 800 divided by 14 meters per second. Now consider what happens after the second meeting. Again their speeds reverse. Abhay's double, so Abhay's goes back to 20. Bhanu's half, so Bhanu's goes back to 12. So again what happens? Again their speeds, relative speed, A becomes faster, B becomes slower. I'll assume B is stationary. A is moving ahead. A now has to complete an entire lap and come back to Bhanu, which means that they have to cover 800 meters. Since they are moving in the same direction, the relative velocity will be the difference of 20 minus 12, which is 8 meters per second. So for the third meeting, how much time are they going to take? For the third meeting, they are going to take 800 by 8, which is 100 meters, 100 seconds, sorry. So for the third meeting, it is 100 seconds. For the fourth meeting, again it goes back to this scenario. Abhay speed becomes 10, Bhanu speed becomes 24. Time taken again to meet will be again 800 by 14. So for the fourth meeting, it is again 800 by 14. For the fifth meeting, again it is 100 seconds. For the sixth meeting, again it is 800 by 14 and so on. So what do we get? For the 15th meeting, we get basically a sequence. What is the sequence? For the first meeting, it is a standard 15 seconds. But for the other two, it is alternatingly 800 by 14 and 100. So you have 25 seconds for the first meeting. Plus 7 times you have 800 by 14 seconds and 7 times you have 100 seconds. Every even round you are taking this much, even meeting point, every odd meeting point you are getting. Finally 15th meeting point will be over here and that would be the last meeting point. First meeting point is this. For the remaining 14 meeting points, one time it is this time, other time it is this time. One time it is this time, other time it is this time. So finally this is the total 15 meeting points. How much is the total time that it will take? This will be 25 plus This cancels with this. This is 400 plus 700. This is 1125. Okay. Anybody who didn't understand? Mohit is asking. Thank you, Mohit. Thank you for the super chat. I recently joined. I am really enjoying the course. Just a query. How do we make best of the little time that we have left? Mohit, give the priority order. First is batch task. Make sure that you do the batch task first. Make sure you see the concept video and the concept test. Do the daily target. Do the live session at 8 o'clock. These are the weekly priority list. Then on weekend, what should you do? You should do mocks and sectionals, analysis of mocks and sectionals, identify the weak areas, solve study room like crazy. So basically what you have to do is on weekdays, batch task, live session, daily target. On weekends, mocks, sectionals and study room. That's the priority list. That is the best way you can make use of the platform. Okay. Good to see. One more request for all those who are watching this stream. Guys, please like the stream. As I mentioned earlier, if you like the stream, it helps us reach more students. It motivates us to do more of these streams. So guys, please like the stream. Okay. Anybody who didn't understand this? How to improve comprehension of RCs? I will come to that. Anybody who has any issue with this question? Thanks, Mukund. I hope that for all those guys who were struggling with circular tracks, you try with relative velocity. It is very simple with relative velocity. It becomes much easier with relative velocity. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, so for all those who are basically yet to join Cracku and who are looking, how do I actually crack CAT in 3 months? So we have a crash course coming up. You have, in this crash course, you will have access to daily live classes, weekly revision. We have mentors who will give one-on-one mentorship. They will call you, they'll explain the process, how you can make the best use of your time. If you're stuck in a particular section, if you want to improve, how do I improve? All of these questions you can ask your mentor. You'll also get day-wise schedule so that you know exactly what you have to do on a particular day. So if you're looking to crack CAT within 3 months, you don't know how to do it, do give us a call on this number. We'll be there to help you crack CAT. So let's take a look at the next part, escalators. Escalators is not very often asked, but I'm covering it because it's the same concept. Literally like escalators, boats and streams, circular tracks, the same concept, which is of relative velocity. If you get relative velocity well, all of these become simple. If you don't get it, no, you will struggle in all of these questions. But I want you guys to have a lot of comfort in relative velocity. So in relative velocity, in escalators, what is the relative velocity? See, in escalators, basically there is an upward moving escalator and a downward moving escalator. If you are moving in the same direction as the escalator, you are going to add the speeds. So if you are moving with the speed of s and the escalator is also moving at the same speed of in the same direction at the speed of e, if it is same direction, the net speed or effective speed will become s plus e. Suppose the escalator is moving in the opposite direction as your speed. You are climbing, the escalator is moving down. Then what would be the effective speed? If you are climbing and the escalator is moving down, the effective or net speed would be s minus e, which is basically the difference of the speeds. Why is that the case? See, if you are moving in the same direction as the escalator is helping you move up. If you're moving in the opposite direction as the escalator, you're fighting against the escalator. So when you're fighting against the escalator, you have to take the difference of the speeds. When you're moving in the same direction, the escalator is helping you, you have to take the sum of the speeds. So even in this case, think of it when people are running towards each other. A and B are running towards each other. Then what is the case? It's like, say, friends meeting, they're running towards each other. They're helping each other. So you add the speed. A thief is running and the police is running after him. The thief is not helping. No, he is running away. So then you have to deduct speed. So when people are running away, you deduct speed. When the escalator is moving against you, you deduct speed. When the stream is going against you, you are moving upstream. Again, deduct speed. Same way, if you're moving in this direction of the stream, you add speed. If you're moving in the direction of the escalator, you add the speed. If you're moving towards the person and he's also moving towards you, then you add speeds. This is something that should be very clear. This will make your job of solving all of these questions very, very easy. Now, the key thing to remember in escalators is, how do you form the time speed distance relationship for escalators? What is the distance? Speed into time is distance into speed into time. What is the relationship for escalators? The simple relationship is the number of steps of the escalator is equal to time taken for the person to climb into the relative speed. So if you are moving in the same direction as the escalator, if your speed is s and the escalator speed is e, then the number of steps is time taken into speed of the person into the plus the speed of the escalator. But if you are moving in opposite directions, the number of steps will be t dash into speed minus the speed of the escalator. Whether you are moving up the escalator or going down the escalator, the number of steps does not change. Whether you are moving in the direction of the escalator or in the opposite direction, the n will not change. What will change is the time taken will change. The time taken when you are moving in the same direction will be lower than the time taken than when you are moving in the opposite direction. So over here you can see what is the equation you can form. Number of steps remains same. So what you have to basically say is that first scenario, these are the number of steps. Second scenario, these are the number of steps. But wait, number of steps don't change. Equate them, you will get the answer. This is the basic way, basic method of solving escalator questions. Form this basic equation, equate those equations, you will get the answer. Okay, we'll take a few examples. It will be better or easier to understand with the help of an example. This is an easy question. I want all of you to answer it and I want all of you to get it right. Okay. Vedantika, which question did you not get? Recap of this question, I didn't fully understand. Can you cover clocks in this session? Mukund, I'm not covering clocks in this session because clocks is mostly omits. Clocks has not come in CAT for a long time. I will take it in the live sessions I take after CAT. For before that, I'll cover this, but it has not really come over here, so I don't take it. I might do like, we might have OMED specific live streams starting September, sometime in September. Then we might have a stream specifically for clocks and calendars. Then I'll try to do it. But it has no like relevance for CAT. So I'm not putting it in this particular session. It is similar to boards and streams. I think I'm weak in all sections, ma'am, but I have put perseverance and willing to put in hard work. How to improve, man? Study room is a gold mine. Thank you. I would say that, Yasir, you are on the right track. Use the study room. See, firstly, get your fundamentals clear. Make sure that you have seen the concept videos. Secondly, make sure that you are taking daily target and live classes every single day. Thirdly, every single mock has to be taken and every mock has to be analyzed in detail. At the end of every mock, you shouldn't like blame yourself or like get demotivated by the score or get very happy with a good score also. What I want you to do, the point of a mock is you make a list of 3 topics. 3 topics from quant, 3 types of LRDI sets from LRDI, and 3 types of like RCs that you find difficult. So economics RCs, philosophical RCs. I want you to have like a small list that you will say that between this week and next week, I'm just going to focus on this particular list. I'm going to do all questions. I'm going to have 50 questions from say 3 topics, like say quadratic, linear equations, and say geometry, say triangles. I'll keep answering questions till I get better in that topic. Similarly, from LRD, I'll say that I couldn't do like puzzles, I couldn't do charts. I'll do a lot of questions from these topics. Similarly, in VARC, suppose that I'm weak in this particular type of RC. I will go to daily target. The daily target is sorted by the type of RC. So in that topic, you can search for like economics. If you do Control F, you will get a lot of economics RCs. If you do Control F, you can get a lot of philosophical RCs. So practice based on that. Try to solve as many of a particular type which is your weakness as much as possible so that it is no longer your weakness. That is basically how you improve. Okay. Many guys are saying, what is the answer? Previous question on circular tracks. Okay, 1 second. Huh? A lot of guys are putting 160. I'll go to the last question because somebody did not understand that one. But you guys continue with that. Pause it and go it back if you want to see the question again. Try to solve it. I'll come back to it in a second. So, okay, how does, So, quick recap of this. So, basically, this person, Abhay, starts behind Bhanu. Okay. There's a 200-meter head start. Okay. So this 200 meters, what would be the speed? Abhay is faster than Bhanu. They are moving in the same direction. So relative velocity will be the difference of their speeds. In all this, they are moving in the same direction. So if they are moving in the same direction, remember, in all cases, you have to take the difference of their speeds. So 200 meters is the head start. 200 meters is the relative distance between A and B. I assume that B is stationary. How much time would A to actually take to cover this distance between us? I am stationary. A is coming back from behind me. He is moving towards me at a relative velocity of 20 minus 12, which is 8 meters per second. How much time would it take for him to cover this? 200 divided by 8, 25 seconds. So the first meeting point would be 25 seconds later. Second meeting point, suddenly I am faster. Bhanu is faster, Aditya or Abhay is slower. So now I'll say that Abhay is like statue, Bhanu is running. Okay, Abhay is statue, Bhanu is running. What is Bhanu's relative velocity? Her now new velocity is 24, Abhay's is 10. So relative velocity would be 24 minus 10. So Bhanu's relative velocity is 14. How much distance does Bhanu have to cover for him to meet Abhay again? Abhay is statue, so he's standing at that point of meeting still. Bhanu has to complete one whole loop and come back and meet Abhay. So she has to cover 800 meters. 800 meters at a relative velocity of 14 meters per second. So first is 25, second is 800 by 14. Third, now Bhanu is slower, Abhay is faster. So now Bhanu is statue. Abhay is going and completing that 800 meters. His relative velocity is 20 minus 12, 8 meters per second. So this is 800 by 8. And so on. This continues till 15th point. This part is going to continue 800 by 14, 800 by 8, 800 by 14. So this is going to continue 14 times. Each of these terms is going to come 7 times, okay? This is 7 times, this is 7 times. So what is the total value? 25 plus 7 into 800 by 14 plus 7 into 800 by 8. That is basically how we got 1125. Whenever you have to like consider relative velocity, you don't understand what is happening. You assume that this person, whoever is the faster person is moving, the slower person is statue, okay? In a circular track, the faster person has to complete the whole loop and come back to the statue person. So he's going to run the whole distance with the speed which is like the relative velocity and come and meet this statue person again. Okay, simple? Okay. So let's go back to our question. Escalators question. Okay. So you guys, many of you guys got it right. You said it is, one question came in CAT 2023. So can we skip it? Honestly, that also came after a long time. But it's okay. I will actually, you guys see the video. It's the low probability event, but see the video. I will cover it maybe in another stream. Maybe I will cover it. If it came, I think it was a low probability event. I think it came after a long time because clocks and particularly calendars so never comes. But clocks is also not very common. And in clocks also there is literally one formula that the relative speed of like the minute hand versus the hour hand is 5.5 degrees per minute. So it's not a very long topic, but still I'll cover it in another session, but not this session, okay? Okay, so let's see how to solve this escalators ka question. Rahul moves on an escalator with a constant speed of 3 steps per second. Karan moves at a constant speed of 1 step per second. When the escalator is moving downwards, Rahul takes 120 steps and Karan takes 80 steps to reach the bottom from the top of the escalator. So both are moving in the same direction as escalator, okay? So this Rahul is 3 steps per second and Karan is 1 step per second, okay? And whatever is the escalator speed, which is say E steps per second. So when Rahul is moving in the speed of this, how many seconds does he take? He takes 120 steps. 120 steps, yani how many seconds? 3 steps per second divided by 120 steps divided by 3 steps per second. So it takes 40 seconds. So the number of steps is basically 40 seconds into 3 steps per second, which is the speed of Rahul, plus E, which is the escalator speed. How much time does Karan take? Karan takes 80 steps and he takes 1 step per second. So 80 steps divided by 1 step per second, he takes 80 seconds to do the same escalator. So 80 seconds and he does that at 1 plus E speed. So I can compare both of these. Can I find the value? What is the speed of the escalator? The number of steps of the escalator remain the same. So I can compare both of these and find E. So 40 into 3 plus E is equal to 80
into 1 plus E. So this will be how much? This is 2 times. So 3 plus E is equal to 2 plus 2E. So E is equal to 1. So the escalator itself is moving at 1 step per second. Okay. Then we are asked, what is the, how many steps would each of them have to take if the escalator becomes stationary? If the escalator is stationary, you have to climb the entire escalator, you have to go down the entire steps, meaning that you have to go basically the entire length of the escalator. So the number of steps will be the number of steps in the escalator. So what is this? That is n. You have to find out the value of n. So what is n? N is 40 times 3 plus E. E is 1. So this is 40 times 4, that is 160 steps. So over here, whenever I am making the escalator equations, I always start by number of steps is equal to this. I find the time, multiply it with the relative speed. Number of steps is equal to this. I find the time, multiply with the relative speed. They didn't give me time, so I had to calculate the time. They didn't tell me that Rahul takes 40 seconds to reach the bottom. They instead told me how many steps he takes. But they told me how much speed he has and the number of steps he takes. He takes 120 steps and his speed is 3 steps per second. So from that 120 by 3, I got that time taken by Rahul to reach the bottom has to be 40 seconds. Similarly, Karan, they gave me 80 steps that he takes and 1 step per second. So from that I calculated speed, time is 80 seconds that he spends on the escalator. So from that I say number of steps is time into relative velocity, time into relative velocity. Combine, equate the both, you get the speed of the escalator. From that you get the number of steps. Okay? Okay. Let's go to the next question. This is slightly more complicated version of escalators, but still escalators has one equation. So how complicated can you get? Make the same equation, you will not fail to get the answer. Okay? Oh, I didn't start the timer. Ma'am, I don't solve quant questions of CAT 2023. You have like trauma of that, that's okay. A lot of people have trauma of CAT 2023. But you should basically see that it is one part of the spectrum. Like, I'll tell you, okay, what happened with, I had experience of taking both CAT 2024, CAT 2023. CAT 2023 was so unexpectedly difficult that I basically, I remember for like 40 minutes, the first 30 minutes I did 8 questions, okay? And the next 10 minutes, after I realized that in 30 minutes I've done just 8 questions, I panicked, completely panicked. Oh my God, what has happened? I have done only 8 questions, what am I supposed to do? And then the remaining 10 minutes, I did 0 questions. I in fact attempted questions, got negative marks because I just like, I was going to a question, feeling panic, leaving it, going to another question, feeling panic and leaving another question. And this was an important lesson. It was an important lesson in managing expectations. When you have very high expectations and the reality doesn't match your expectations, you shouldn't panic. If, and I want this like for all my students to listen to this, if the CAT 2025 maths is very difficult, lower your expectations. 8 questions, 9 questions would be very good score. Okay, 8 questions right, 9 questions right would be ample. If it is very easy, then 12 questions, 13 questions, 14 questions is needed. You have to respond to the paper in front of you. Don't go ahead, like don't go in with like some fixed number. Okay, I have to do 15 questions. That kind of fixation on number will be your downfall. So don't fixate on a particular number, respond to what is in front of you. So always remember that CAT 2023 is an important lesson in flexibility. You should be flexible to respond to the set questions that are in front of you. Do not fixate that, okay, I have to get this much, I have to do these many questions, because then you will panic. Because if the question set is much harder, then you will find that, okay, I cannot possibly do as like 15, 16 questions. Then you will completely panic that and not do even what you could have possibly done. I could have possibly done 11, 12 questions. I ended up doing only 8 questions because I completely panicked. So I want all of you to take CAT 2023 and know that If it is harder, what should I do? If it is easier, what should I do? Okay? A lot of people are answering. See, if it can happen to you, how do we prevent it from happening to us? I want you to learn from my example. See, the reason why we take this also is because we want to tell you exactly what to do. We want you to learn from our experience. What is the point of us taking it for 11, 12 years if I don't warn you beforehand? My whole point is that I should tell you what to expect, how to respond, what to do if this happens, what to do if that happens. So I want you to learn from my experience that if it is difficult, there will be panic, and you will not be the only person who is panicking. The entire room will panic. But you should be the guy who is panicking the least. Of all the people panicking, you should panic the least. That is what you should tell yourself. That if I am scared, I am very scared, but everybody is as scared as me. So I should be the guy who holds his nerve, and that will make sure that I actually outperform the whole peer group. Okay, so a lot of answers, 40, 24, 40, 24. What do you guys think? And before we get to the answer, guys, please like the stream, okay? I see more people seeing than the number of likes. So please like the stream, guys. We need more likes to reach more students. So I got like 40 seconds, 40 seconds, 24 seconds, 24 seconds. What is the answer? 24 or 40? How much time does it take Supria to climb for the same this as Priyansh? Very similar name, so kind of confusing. What is the answer? 40 or 24? A. So basically people have removed B and D of the options. 50-50 say both have gone off. Only 40 and 24 are there. So one of these is the right answer, one of these is the wrong answer. I'll solve it and then we'll figure it out, okay? Priyansh takes 20 seconds to walk down a descending escalators. He takes 120 seconds to walk down on an escalator, twice the length of the first escalator. Twice the length means suddenly you have 2 n steps. This is n steps, okay? Moving up with the same speed. Find the time taken in seconds by Supria to climb up on the second escalator at twice the speed of Priyansh. I hate these kind of questions because they are kind of gotcha, okay? You don't read the full sentence, you miss important things. But always read it completely, because if you miss this twice, right, your entire answer will be wrong. So let's take a look at the question. Priyansh takes 20 seconds to walk down a descending escalator. He takes 120. So let Priyansh's speed be P, escalator speed be E. So he is walking down a descending escalator. So the escalator is also moving in the same direction. So the number of steps n is equal to 20 into P plus E. Okay, this is the first equation. He takes 120 seconds to walk down on an escalator twice the length of the first escalator, moving up. So here basically he is walking down the escalator. So he is moving in the opposite direction. So the speed will be P minus E. The time taken is 120 seconds. And what is the length of the escalator? It is twice the length of the first escalator. So 2n is equal to 120 and P minus E. Again, for this escalator also the speed is E only. But this is moving in the opposite direction. Okay. So now we have 2 equations, one with P plus E, one with P minus E. What should I do? I should try to find some kind of a relationship between them so that I can eliminate the common variables. I can find some relationship between Priyansh's speed and escalator speed. So let's do that. So I can say that this cancels, this is 60. So then I can equate. So 20 times P plus E is equal to 60 times P minus E. So this is 3 times. So P plus E is equal to 3P minus 3E. Okay. So I can say 4E is equal to 2P, or Priyansh's speed is rather the 2 times the escalator speed. Okay. This I know. Now what do we have to find? We have to find the time taken by Supria to climb up on the second escalator. The escalator that is going in the same direction. She's climbing up, so it is in the same direction she's moving, the relative speed will be added. And she is going at twice the speed of Priyansh. So Supriya's speed is 2p, which will be basically 4 times the escalator speed. Okay, so what would be the time taken? So we have to find, this is 2n is the speed of the escalator. This is 2n is the number of the steps on the second escalator. That divided by Supriya's speed plus the escalator speed would be the time taken by Supria, right? This would be the time taken by Supria. This is 2n divided by, this is 4e. So this is 5e. This is the time taken by Supria. But do I have any relation between n and e? I at least found out the relationship between p and e. But I don't have a relation between n and e. Where do I get this from? I can plug this value back over here and get a relationship between n and e. So I can say that n is equal to 20 times p is 2 times e, right? So this will be 3e. So what is n by e? N by e is 60. So can I plug in 60 over here? So I will say Ts is 2 by 5 times n by e, which I found n by e is 60. So this is 60. This cancels, this is 12. 2 times 12 is 24. So the time taken by Supria will be how much? It will be 24 seconds. So what did I do over here? Consistently I made only one equation. Number of steps on the escalator is equal to time taken into relative speed. In the first case there were n steps, in the second case there were 2n steps. I took the ratio, I found a relationship between Priyansh's speed and the escalator speed, plugged it back into the original equation, got the speed of number of steps and got the ratio of numbers of steps and the escalator, found the next case Supria and the second escalator, plugged those values in, got the time. Okay, easy question, difficult question, easy question. A lot of people made the mistake, but this is an easy question. This is the kind of arithmetic question you should not make mistakes in. These are easy questions, but with some practice you will do it well. Escalators, people find it difficult because they never practice. If you practice, you will get it right. Okay, they are not difficult questions at all. Okay, so one small request from my side for all students. Guys, the application window is opening for many colleges. The process for like application filling, exam deadlines, all of those are coming up. So if you don't want to miss any deadline, I would request all of you to like subscribe to our Instagram channel, because those Instagram channel, we always put up every single deadline that is coming up. We always give all information about how to fill forms, how to do everything. So if I don't want you guys to miss any single application deadline, so please follow us on Insta. We are Cracku exam. Okay. So if you follow Cracku exam, you will get a lot of info about how to prepare, what is the important things to do, and about every single MBA college and MBA exam. Okay. So let's take a look at boards and streams. Boards and streams is kind of my favorite topic because it is a trivial topic. It is like the topic that once you get, you will never forget. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you know how to solve these questions, you will never forget. Okay. So I want it to be like that for you. I want it to be like super trivial for you. Always get it right. Okay. So let's start. The idea remains the same. Okay. In boards and streams and escalators. When you're moving with the stream, you add the speed. So speed of board plus speed of stream. When you're moving against the stream, then you say speed of board minus speed of stream. So this is the relative velocity when you're going, this is downstream. Okay, so I wrote it in ulta. So if you're going upstream, when you're moving against the direction, the relative velocity will be speed of the board minus speed of the stream. When you're moving in the same direction as the stream, then you have to say speed of the boat plus the speed of the stream. Basically, whenever somebody is moving and helping you, you add. Whenever somebody is holding you back, you subtract. Whenever you're going upstream, that stream is holding you back, right? So then you subtract the speed. Whenever it is helping you, it is pushing you in the same direction, then you add the speed. This is the basic thing that you have to do. Then everything else remains the same. Distance is equal to time into relative velocity. That's all that is there. This is the only thing that you need to do to solve any boards and streams question. They are literally trivial. The same concept as we have learned till now. I want you to literally apply it. If you get stuck, I'll tell you what mistake you're making, but they are super easy questions. I want you guys to solve them correctly. Ma'am, I'm confused which is going in which direction. It's confusing. So if you are walking up a ascending escalator, ascending means going up. So you're walking in the same direction. You're walking up a descending escalator. Yani the escalator is going down, you're going up. You're going in opposite direction. You're going down a descending escalator. Descending means niche ja raha hai. You're going down. Again, you have to add the speeds. You're going up a descending escalator. Escalator niche ja raha hai, you're going up. you have to deduct the speed. Okay. I'm glad it was easy for you, Pratik, and I hope that you always solve them. Okay. Apart from CAT, what should I apply for? Apply for SNAP, apply for NMAT, apply for CMAT, apply for ZAT. If you are a Maharashtra student, apply for Maharashtra CET also. This is something that I will tell you whether you take our course or not. From experience, I am telling you, apply to all the exams that are there. You need not even like take it seriously, or you need not even go with like full preparation. I'll tell you the case of one of our content managers, okay? That guy was from Maharashtra. He gave CAT, he didn't get a good percentile. He joined us. 1 month later, we wanted him to basically go and sit for the Maharashtra CET exam, just for to get exam experience, to tell us how the exam was, what questions were asked. He went and sat for the exam with zero prep. We just wanted the question types, etc. He got 99.92, something like that. He got JBIMS. He left us within 2 months of joining, saying that I got a dream college. So you will never know what you will get. So fill all exam forms. Then you can fill the form of only the institute that you are interested in. So always give all exams. The second benefit of this is that CAT just becomes one of the exams that you are giving. If CAT is the only exam that you are giving, it will be like a big, this on your head. It is coming, CAT is coming, we have to do something. And you will be feeling a lot of anxiety. But if CAT is one of the 5 exams you are giving, you will feel much less anxiety. So fill all forms, okay? NMAT, SNAP, CMAT, Maharashtra CET if it is applicable to you, and CAT and ZAT, okay? Thanks, Naman. It's quite interesting how TSD has only formula and still confuses greatly. Seems counterintuitive. Shares, basically, there is one formula. You have to just ask yourself, are they traveling for the same time? Are they traveling for the same distance? If you go down an escalator, you're going down the same distance. Everybody is going down the same distance, which is the distance of which is the number of steps of the escalator. Why do I say equate the number of steps of the escalator? Because you're covering equal distances. You are comparing constant distance. So each time you get confused, ask yourself, is this a question of constant distance? Is this a question of constant time? Then you will know what you have to equate. Okay, B. So many people saying B. 1 kilometer per hour. Ajay, give Maharashtra CET, give CMAT, you might get JBIMS, you might get many good institutes that come from there. Okay, B. Okay. So is it 1 kilometer per hour, 8 kilometers per hour, half kilometer per hour, 10 kilometers per hour? What is the answer? So let's try to do this. A man rows to a place 60 kilometers away and back in 13 hours, 30 minutes. He finds that he can row 5 kilometers with the stream, and in the same time he can row 4 kilometers against the stream. So basically, when it is same time, what is it a question of? Constant time. So constant time, you can say that distance upstream divided by speed upstream will be distance downstream divided by speed downstream. Constant time, same time. What is the speed upstream? Let the boat speed be B, let the stream speed be S. The speed upstream, because when you're going against the stream, upstream means against the stream, downstream means with the stream. So when you're going upstream, you have to take the difference. So what is the speed distance upstream? It is 4 kilometers. Against the stream is 4 kilometers. That is boat minus the speed of stream. Same this, you have 5, which is boat plus the speed of stream. So you can say that boat plus speed of stream divided by boat minus speed of stream. What is this ratio? This is 5 by 4. This is one important, this we'll use it later. What is the other thing that they have given? He can row 60 kilometers away and back in 13 hours 30 minutes. So this is basically the total distance is 60 kilometers. This divided by speed downstream, 60 kilometers downstream plus 60 kilometers upstream. What is the total time taken? This time is 13 hours 30 minutes. So I'll say it is 13.5 hours. This is the equation. Now what is the speed downstream? Speed downstream is, the stream is helping you, it is B plus S. What is the speed upstream? The speed, boat is, the stream is against you, it is not helping you, so you have to minus. So this is 60 divided by B plus S, this is 60 divided by B minus S, this is 13.5. This 5 by 4 is there. I'll say let the constant of proportionality be x. So b plus s is how much? 5x. b minus s is how much? 4x. I'll replace it over here. So I will say let b plus s. Ayya. What happened? Yo. Okay, things shifted a bit, but okay, I'll clean it and write it. Okay, so b plus s is 5x and b minus x is 4x, okay? So 60 divided by b plus s plus 60 divided by b minus s is 13.5. I said b plus s is 5x, this is 4x. Let me put that. This is 5x, this is 4x, this is 12 times, this is cancelled, this is 15 times, this is cancelled. So this is 12 by x plus 15 by x is 13.5. So how much is that? That is 27 by x is how much? This is 13.5. So how much is x? X is equal to 2. So b plus s is 5 times x. So b plus s is 10 kilometers per hour. b minus s is 4 times x. That is 8 kilometers per hour. What is asked of you? We are asked what is the speed of the stream. So we have to find out the value of s. It's a linear equation, two linear equations, two variables. Can we find that? Yeah, minus plus, add it up. So 2s minus is 2 kilometers per hour. So s is equal to 1 kilometer per hour. Pretty simple, it is option B. What was the tough part over here? We got a relationship or a ratio between b plus s and b minus s. 5 by 4. Now I use that to put it in my original equation. That is distance by upstream plus distance by downstream. Total time is 13.5. One common mistake a lot of students do is, if I'm going upstream and I'm going downstream in 13.5, they divide it into equal halves. They say that upstream is 13.5 by 2 and downstream is also 13.5 by 2. That would be wrong. Upstream time would be greater than downstream time. If you made that mistake, remember not to make that mistake again. Upstream time is always greater than downstream time. Okay? Okay. Let's go to the next question. Okay. Easy question. I want you guys to answer this, okay? And there are variables, options also. Okay. All options are visible. Okay. How much longer will the stream go? This is a slightly longish stream because I have to also complete profit and loss and compound and simple interest. This I think is the last question of this. Then we'll start with PN, profit and loss and compound, simple and compound interest. So another I think 6 questions plus the topic this coverage. I think it would be about 1 hour more, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Already, okay, I think B, guys try to answer this question. I didn't start the timer, but. Shubham comes in with D. Yash, I got scored 42 in Dash Cat 10. Is it good? Yash, that is slightly on the lower side. Can you give me the split? Because then I'll be able to tell you better whether what is the issue in either of the sections. Thanks, Sonema. And I hope all of you guys are whatever conceptual issues that you have, I hope they are getting cleared in this session. If you have any more lingering doubts and all, just ask in this session. 15, D, 15. Shubham came in the first with D, and then a couple of Venkatasai, Kiran came in next, and Meti, Naman, Ram, so many guys came in. Good job. Easy question, many of you already have the answer. So is it easy? Should I start answering? I think this is an easy question. Okay, so let's try to see how to solve this question. Sumit rows downstream from Allahabad to Varanasi in 10 hours. The distance between Allahabad and Varanasi is 180 kilometers and Sumit's speed in still water is 8 times the speed of stream. So how much is it? He rows downstream in 10 hours. So one distance is 180 kilometers. Time taken is 10 hours. So what is his speed downstream? Speed downstream is 18 kilometer per hour. Over here, what is speed downstream? Speed is basically the speed of the boat plus the speed of the stream. This is 18 km per hour and it is given to us that his speed in still water, that is the boat speed, B is 8 times the speed of the stream. So that means this is speed of the stream plus stream, that is 9 times speed of the stream is 18. So speed of the stream is 2 km per hour and the rowing speed or the boat speed is 16 km per hour. Okay, this is simple, easy to get. Now we have the second situation. So first situation we have encoded, we have found out the answer. Now consider the second situation. So Sumit decides to go back to Allahabad along the same route. Now since you're going back to Allahabad, first you are going downstream. Now if you're going back to Allahabad, you have to go upstream. So here what would be the speed? The speed of the boat minus the speed of the stream. However, due to strong winds, the speed of the stream has increased by 100%. So now speed of the stream, new speed of the stream would be 2 times the old speed, which is 100% increase is basically doubles. 1 plus 100% is 2. So basically the speed is going to double. So this is 4 kmph. Okay, now the speed of the stream is 4 kmph. If Sumit rows at his earlier speed, then how much time will it take for him to reach Allahabad? Now he is going upstream. So what would be the time taken? This is still 180 kilometers. Distance upstream, downstream doesn't change. But now because it is upstream, you have to take the boat speed, which is 16, minus the speed of the stream. The new speed of the stream is 4. So this is 180 by 12. So how much is that? This is 2 times 6. This is 30 times 6, which is 15 hours. So how much time is it going to take for Sumit to row back to Allahabad? It is going to take him option D, 15 hours. This is a pretty simple question, okay? Very simple question. We had the first situation, he was going downstream. We had the second situation where he is going upstream. The only thing that has changed is that the speed of the stream changes between the upstream and downstream versions, okay? Okay, anybody has any question about this? Simple question, right? Easy question. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, so for all those who are our students, I'm guessing all of you already know about daily targets. For those who are not our students, please take a look at Cracku's daily targets, particularly if you're looking for CAT level questions. These are exact CAT level questions. These are excellent practice and this is like a daily habit that you should have. Every single day, do your daily target. For the students who are waiting for syllabus completion to start with the daily target, I want you guys to start taking daily target regularly from now on. Because now it is like 90 days, 3 months are there. If you do 90 tests, 90 into 3 tests, 270 tests, I think you would be having, so 90 minus like if you consider remove the weekends and all, it would be lesser, I think 70 days as such. 200 tests would be basically taken there. So I think if you take these 200 tests, you will be very, very well prepared for the CAT. So for those who need CAT level preparation, who need that kind of practice, please do take a look at Cracku's daily target. It is free on the day, but afterwards, if you're trying to go back and see earlier days daily targets, you would need to have premium subscription. Okay, so let's take a look at the next concept of profit and loss. I'll quickly go through the basic concept because it's not difficult. Profit and loss, like time, speed, distance, has very few formulas, very few concepts, but once you understand them, they become very simple. So concept is you have 3 prices. For any article, suppose I am buying a product, okay, A, in a shop. Every product A has 3 prices. One is the cost price, one is the selling price, one is the mark price. What is that? Cost price is basically the cost price of the item to the person who is selling it to me. If I am going to a shop, the cost price would be the shopkeeper's cost price. So that would be the price he buys it from the manufacturer or the middleman. What would be the selling price? The price he sells it to the customer. What would be the mark price? What is the difference between mark price and selling price? This is basically the MRP, or rather the sticker price. Whatever you put on the sticker, this is the mark price. This is the actual price, because whatever is the mark price, people sometimes don't sell on the mark price, they give discounts. So selling price is basically after discount mark price. What is cost price? The price that the person has paid to the earlier guy, the price at which the person who is selling has bought it. Now, what is the relationship between all of these things? See, selling price minus cost price will give you the profit. And if cost price is actually higher than selling price, it is loss. The relationship is selling price is cost price into 1 plus percentage profit. Or you can also recheck this equation and say that percentage profit is selling price divided by cost price minus 1. Okay, this is the relationship between these two. What is the relationship between these two? Selling price is basically, you can equate selling price to mark price through the idea of discount. So selling price is mark price minus discount. Or if you are given discount in percentage terms, you can say that selling price is mark price into 1 minus percentage discount. This is the relationship between both of these things. Now, what is the relationship between these two? How do I get relationship between cost price and mark price? So cost price is basically, mark price is basically cost price into 1 plus percentage markup. That is, if I mark up a item by 50%, so whatever is the cost price, I increased it by 50% and from that I get my percentage mark price. So basically markup, percentage markup, that 1 plus percentage markup into cost price is the mark price. So this is the relationship between cost price and mark price. Or you can also say that cost price plus markup is mark price. If it is given in percentage terms, you have to multiply. If it is given in direct absolute terms, cost price plus markup is equal to mark price. This is the relationship between all of these. From this you get all of the entire thing happens, like percentage profit, percentage loss, discount, markup, all of these are just interconnection between these three prices. I want you to get very comfortable with this, because basically you should know that this is the flow, this is the equation, this is the interrelation. So what happens is that, suppose if you're given cost price and mark price, and you're given say percentage discount or percentage profit. So even if one side of the equation is given, if mark price is given, discount is given, and cost price is given, from that discount you can calculate selling price. Once you have selling price, you can calculate the percentage profit. All of these are interconnected. You just need to have enough number of the variables to find out the missing values. All this interconnection you should know very well. Okay. Now let's come to the questions of this topic. These are easy questions. I want all of you to solve all of them. I personally believe that profit and loss questions chhodna nahi chahiye. They are easy questions. You should always attempt them. So I want you guys to attempt this question and get it right. This is a theta question. Okay. Yeah, I'll be taking the live sectional attempt on 9 September. So instead of the actual live class, I'll be doing the live sectional attempt. महाराष्ट्र में कॉलेज मिल गया था मैम आपको, मुझे नहीं, वन ऑफ आवर कंटेंट मैनेजर्स को, ही गॉट JBIMS. He took CMAT or Maharashtra CET as a just experience building, but he was surprised that he did it well. A lot of people have this shutter tunnel vision कि सिर्फ CAT करना है, सिर्फ CAT करना है, and then they miss out on good opportunities like that. So don't have that tunnel vision. Give all exams. It is very important to prepare and give all exams. There's no this. This is a theta question. 200. Okay, 200. That is the answer that I've gotten till now. I won't tell whether it is correct or wrong. But okay, I'll tell you it is wrong. Basically, look at whether it makes sense also. Okay. What is the schedule for live class? Is it every day? It is every weekday, Monday to Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. Sometimes he goes slightly over 9 p.m., like 9 to 9:30, but generally it is 8 to 9 p.m. 400. Okay. I've gotten all options till now. I've gotten 200, 400, 105, 500, 510, 300. I've gotten many options. So is this tough? Because many of these are like very different answers. Sabka ek answer nahi hai. So is this a tough question? What do you guys think? 400, 500, 150, 300. Okay. I have gotten many answers and one of these is correct. 400, 500, 150 or 300, one of these is correct. So let's see. I think the people who have gotten 400, I'll let you know that you are deducting or you're considering the difference between the wrong values. Okay. Okay. With that hint, we'll start with the question. A shopkeeper sells an article at a profit of X%. The person who buys the article sells it to his friend at a loss of X%. The friend compares the prices and realizes that he has obtained the article for X by 4% less than the cost price of the article. If the friend obtained the article for 100 rupees less than the cost price of the article, then the loss borne by the person who sold it to his friend in rupees is, see, since we have given absolute value, I can't start with whatever I like. Otherwise, I would always start by cost price is 100. But since an absolute value is given, I can't do that. So I'll do the nearest thing where I'll say that the cost price is 100x. The nearest thing that I have to let the cost price be 100 is say cost price is 100x. Okay. So the shopkeeper sells it at a profit of x. No, I will not take x because profit is also x%. So I'll say that this is 100 y. Okay, 100y is the cost price. Now the shopkeeper sells it for a profit of x%. So this selling price will become how much? This is 100y into 1 plus x%. Okay, this is the selling price at the shop. This is the shopkeeper. Okay, this is for the shopkeeper, shop. Okay, now this person, for the person who has bought it, the person who bought it from the shop, his cost price becomes this cost price, 100y into 1 plus x square. He in turn sells it to his friend and he sells it at a loss. So for him the loss is x%. So he will say that, okay, I'm going to multiply this cost price into 1 minus x%. So this is 100y into 1 plus x% into 1 minus x%. But this is slightly messy. 1 plus x into 1 minus x, I can write it as 1 minus x square. So this is basically 1 minus x square percentage. If it is in percentage terms, x square percent, I will just show that as x square percent by 100. By 100 because it is multiplication of two percentages. If I just put one percentage sign, I will put the other percentage as divide by 100. Okay. So this is the selling price for the person when he is selling it to his friend. Okay. So this is the friend's transaction. What is the friend compares the prices and realizes that he has obtained the article for x by 4% less than the cost price of the article. So he sees this and says that this is 100y into 1 minus x square percent by 100. This is actually the cost price minus x by 4%. The cost price is 100y, right? this minus 1 by x percent by 4. This is the value that is the case. Now this is 100y. So can I cancel 100y on both sides? Can I compare these two and can I find what is the value of x in this case? So 1 minus x square percent by 100 is 1 minus x percent by 4. So this cancels with this, I get x cancels, okay, I get minus sign also cancels minus sign. So I get x percent by 4 is x square percent by 100 is x percent by 4. X, this cancels with this, percent cancels with this. So x is equal to 100 by 4%, which is 25%. So what is x? X, by comparing both of these sides, I get x is 25%. Now the friend obtained the article for 100 rupees lesser than the cost price of the article, which means that 100y into 1 minus x percent, or rather 100y into this x percent by 4, this difference, this deduction, this is equal to rupees 100, right? So what do I get? This 100 cancels with this, y into 25% by 4 is equal to 1. So what do I get? Y is equal to 4 divided by 25%, that is equal to 16. This is 1600, y is 1600. This is 1600 into 1 plus x percent. 1600 into 1 plus 25% is 1 plus 25% is 1.25. 1.25 is basically 5 by 4. So 5 by 4 is of 1600 is how much? That is 2000. So the guy who bought it from the shopkeeper, okay, the guy who bore the loss, he bought it at 2000. And what value did he sell it for? This minus x percent. Do I need to even calculate that? We are told it is 100 rupees lesser than the cost price. Cost price is 1600. So if it is 100 rupees lesser than the cost price, this selling price is 1500. So what is the loss that the friend bore? 2000 minus 1500, that is 500. So what is the loss borne by the person? It is, this is the loss. It is not 2000 minus 1600. To the person who bought it, he never sees 1600. He only sees the price at which he bought, 2000. The price at which he sold, 1500. So what is the loss for him? It is 500. A lot of people wrote 400 because I think you considered this value minus this value. But this, for a person, if you go to a shop, you never get to know the value or price at which the shopkeeper bought it. The shopkeeper has some price. He never tells you. He only sells it at a selling price. So if I go and buy a milk, I never know that what value did that milk come to the shopkeeper. I only know that it is 40 rupees per 500 ml. So I pay that. So the friend bought it at 2000. He sold it at 1500. So his loss is 500. Okay. Tricky, yes. Why is this tricky? There are two transactions. One transaction at the shop level, one transaction between friends. So you have to consider each of these transactions separately. Don't confuse between these two transactions. Okay. I would always say either show it like this, or when you have multiple transactions occurring, right? One between the shopkeeper and then there is a secondary sale, okay? Whenever there is secondary sale, show that, okay, shopkeeper to friend or consumer to friend. Then you say this is cost price 1600, selling price 2000, cost price 2000, selling price 1500. Show the transaction at each of these units differently. So then you will make understand what is this. If you consider cost price, original cost price is 1600 and then calculate on the basis of that, you will make a mistake. Okay. So this is basically the answer. Wording made it difficult. Okay. I don't think that was the issue. Basically, when two things are given, it is easy to confuse between them. Keep it separate, then there will be no confusion. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Try to solve this one. This is not a difficult question at all. I think this is one of the easiest of the entire this. I want all of you guys to solve it quickly. Could you explain the percentage thing? You took 100 in the denominator. See, it is 1 plus x percent into 1 minus x percent. 1 plus a, 1 minus a. So it will be basically 1 minus x square percent percent. Each percent is 100, no, divide by 100. So it will be 1 minus x square percent. So percent basically means what? There will be 2 percentage sign, that is divided by 200 into divided by 100. So this is basically divided by 10,000. But I'm comparing with some other percent value here. So what I do is, I keep 100 over here and put 1% over here. So then I can compare it with 1 minus x percent by 4 quickly. Then I can make the comparisons quickly because यहाँ पे भी percent है, यहाँ पे भी percent है. If I have 2% then I can compare with this. You will see another example of this is when we have, if you have successive percentage changes, right? If you have successive percentage changes, if it is 1 plus x percent into 1 plus y percent, what is the cumulative change? It is x percent plus y percent plus xy percent by 100. ये xy percent by 100 क्यों है? क्योंकि ये percent आता है. दो percentages का multiplication is percent which is basically percent square. So to remove that percent square confusion, you consider it is divided by 100% because it is divided by 100 2 times. %95. B, 95, okay. Okay, many of you guys are getting this. What is the overall profit? I'll give you like 30 seconds more, try to solve it. This is a very easy question. I want all of you to solve it. Very, very easy question. I think most of you are getting it right. So it is, anybody who is in the middle, I'll wait. Otherwise, I think most of you have gotten the answer. Most of you have been able to answer the question. 95%. Okay. So let's see how to solve this. Is this easy? Is this difficult? I felt it was very easy, but what did you guys think? Was it easy, difficult? Okay, most of you have gotten it. Almost everybody got the correct answer. I think this is an easy question. Okay. So there are 4,200 chargers. He buys 4,200 chargers from a wholesaler. When he opened his bag, he found that 300 of them have been damaged beyond repair and cannot be sold. Another 900 of them are defective but can be sold at half their cost. What should be the markup percentage of the remaining chargers so that he can have an overall profit of 50% by selling all the chargers? Now all of this is relative terms, no? Half price, 50%, what should be the markup? So there is nothing given in absolute terms, not 100 rupees profit or 100 rupees loss or anything, nothing in absolute values, right? So whenever something is given like this, I can always start by assuming something that is very comfortable to me. I can start by any number that I want. So I will always start by saying that let each of these 4,200 charges, let's say, be at 10 rupees per charger. Okay. So how much does he spend? So he spends, when he buys, he spends, the cost price for him is 10 rupees into 4,200, that is 42,000. He has to make an overall profit of how much? 50%. So 50% of 42,000, how much would that be? Selling price should be at least, so that he can make an overall profit of this. Not at least, exact profit of this. Okay. So 1.5 times 42,000. How much is this? This is 63,000. He should get 63,000 for these. So let's consider this 4,200. What is the fate of these 4,200? For 300 of them, they are damaged beyond repair. So for these, he is going to get 0. For 900 of them, they are defective, but they can be sold at half their cost price. Since the cost price is 10, half the cost price will be 5. So this is 4,500. The remaining, what is the remaining? This is 1,200, 3,000. How much should these 3,000 be sold such that we get to 63,000? How much should they be sold? Very simple, no? This is 63,000 is my total that is required. I already have 4,500. Okay. This divided by the total number of charges that are at there, that is 3,000, would be the price at which I have to sell. So selling price of the remaining 3000 charges would be 63,000, which is the amount I want to collect, minus 4500 that I'm getting from the defective charges, divided by 3000, which is the amount, which is the charges that I can essentially sell. So how much is this? This is 50 minus 4000 would be 59,000. So this is 58,500, right? This divided by 3000. This cancels this, this cancels this. I get divided by this. How much do I get? I get divide by 15. 18, how much is this? First is 6. This is 117. Divide by 2. This is 9. Oh, sorry. 60. Sorry. This is how much? Divided by, sorry, 3. This is 30. Wait, what did I do? 5, 8, 8. This is divided by 3. This is 39. So 39 by 2 would be with how much? That would be SP of 39 by 2. 38 is 19. So this would be 19.5. So selling price of each of these chargers has to be how much? It has to be 19.5. What was my cost price? My cost price was 10 rupees. 10 rupees I buy, 19.5 I have to sell. What is the percentage markup? What should be the markup so that I sell it at 19.5? So that is basically 19.5 divided by 10 minus 1. So that is basically, this is 19.5 minus this. So this is into 100%. So this is how much? This is a markup of 95%. Okay, I have to sell a charger I bought at 10 rupees at 19.5 rupees to collect the remaining amount that is there. So that would mean that I have to mark it up by 95%. Always whenever you have a value like this, right, calculate the total cost price, calculate the total selling price. From the total selling price, remove already the amount that you have collected. I've only collected 4,500. The remaining amount will be 58,500, which I have to collect from the 3,000 charges. That 58,500 by 3,000 charges would imply that the selling price is 19.5. If the cost price is 10 and the selling price is 19.5, the percentage markup has to be 95%. Okay? Simple question, not difficult question at all, but I want you to understand to do this split. Okay? This split is the most important thing that you have to remember. Okay. Sorry, let's go to the next question. Okay, this is a slightly tricky question. Okay, I would say this is CAT level, slightly like 10% harder than CAT. But I want all of you to solve it. I know all of you can solve it. Okay, try guys, try. Everybody should try. No, wait a second. Okay. I'll keep it here. Some of the options might not be visible, but you can go back and see the options. Sorry. Okay, the options are not visible, but I'll tell you the options later, or I'll put it 27, 36, 39, 45. Okay. (27, 36, 39 and 45 are the options. So try to solve this question. Okay. Okay, guys, I'll give you like 30 seconds more. I think that should be enough to solve it. Come on, I want everyone to solve this question. It is slightly difficult, slightly lengthy, but doable. Okay, guys, what is the answer? You've been able to answer? 39. Ajay? What are the other answers? Come on, guys, try to solve this one. You can solve it. The 4 options are over here. Try to solve it, guys. Come on. Okay, so I've gotten some answers till now. I'm going to give 1 more minute. I want everybody to answer. If everybody answers, you should have there will be a lot of meaning to this class. Come on, guys, put fight. Put everybody should answer. Okay, lot more, some 39s, 145. Anybody with any other answer? Come on, guys, try to answer this. This is not that difficult. Okay, I think we can start with the question. Okay, Karthik opened a new mango shop but did not know how to conduct business profitably. He sold 20 mangoes to his neighbor at a discount of 20% because he was a good friend. He sold some of the mangoes to other people, marking the price up by 50%. Because of this, his sale dropped, and at the end of the day, 1/3 of his mangoes were left. He sold all the remaining mangoes at the original price. At the end of his day, he made a loss equal to 1 mango. What was the number of mangoes with him, given that it is less than 50 and the only whole number of mangoes to he sold only whole number of mangoes to each customer and not a fraction of it. So here basically what is given, we are given that that basically nothing is given in absolute terms, everything is given in relative terms. So the sale loss is also 1 cost price. He sold 20 mangoes at 20% discount. He sold the remaining 2/3 of the remaining as like 2/3 minus 20 at 50% markup and 1/3 at the original cost. And he was ended up with a loss which is equal to the cost price as such. We can assume the cost price to be 100 or we can assume the cost price to be X. It won't matter because everything is in relative terms. There is nothing in like absolute terms. So we can start by assuming that the cost price is 100. So let's say that the cost price is 100. Okay, so say the cost price is 100 for 1 mango. Okay, so he has how many mangoes? Say he has n mangoes. Okay, of these 20 he sold at it will be 20 he sold at 20% discount. 20% discount to 100 is how much? That would be 80 rupees. So 20 he sold at 80 rupees. 1/3 were left at the end of his shop. So n/3 were left at the end of this, and he sold at the original cost, which is 100 rupees. What is left if n is divided? N/3 is here, 20 is here. So this is 2n/3 minus 20 mangoes in the middle. These he sold at 50% markup. If it is 100, 50% markup is 150. Okay, so this is the split. 20 at 80, 2n/3 minus 20 at 150, n/3 at 100. This is the split. And what did he get at the end of it? The end of it, he got a loss of 1 mango. So that would mean that he has 100n minus 100. This is the total sales consideration he's getting, because 100n is the cost price minus 100 is like 100 rupees loss. Loss of 1 mango is basically 100 rupees loss. So this is equal to 20 into 80 is 1600 plus 150 into 2n by 3 minus 20 plus n by 3 into 100. This sum, entire sum, is equal to 100n minus 100. The 100n is the cost price, total cost price of 100 mangoes, minus 100 is basically that he lost 1 mango's value. So this, let's try to solve this equation. There is n. It's a single equation with one variable. We can solve it to get the answer. So this is 1600 plus this is 150 into 2n by 3 is 100n minus this is 3000 plus 100n by 3 is equal to 100n minus 100. So 100n will cancel over here and here. So we get 100n by 3 is equal to how much? 1600 minus 3000 is how much? Minus 1400. Minus 1400, I'll take it to the other side. So this will be plus 1400 minus 100. So how much is that? That is 1300. So 100n by 3 is how much? 1300. This cancels with this. N is equal to 13 into 3, which is 39. So how many mangoes does he have? It is given that it is a number less than 50 and only he sells this. He does not sell a fraction. So how many mangoes does he have? He does not. You don't even need to be told that it is a number less than 50. Without that also you can say that n has only one value, which is 39. Okay. So what is the answer of this question? It is 39. I got 39. 39.9999. How did you calculate 20% discount of this, as discount should be mark price on this? No, he would put it basically 20% discount means this 20% discount of okay. Here discount doesn't mean mark price. This here basically it means loss of 20%. Maybe it could be worded better. It should have been he sold it at a loss of 20%. But since before you, if it is not given there's a mark price, then discount of 20% basically means that it is sold at a loss of 20%. But that could have been clearer. This was not very clear as such. I think this should have been given at a loss of 20%. I think that might be the reason why some of you guys got tripped, because it is given as discount but it is actually loss. See, discount will make only sense that if you have already been given mark price. First he sold it at a loss of 20%, then he decided that I'll mark it up. So that actual markup price came later on. So I think that might be the reason why some of you guys might have gotten tripped up, but otherwise it was fairly simple. But it, instead of discount, they should have used the word loss. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Okay. So one small request from my side. Guys, if you're preparing for CAT and if you have any questions about CAT preparation, how to do this, how to do that, if you have questions about like dash CAT analysis, anything basically related to CAT preparation and you want to discuss it with other people who are aspirants, if you want a dedicated community of CAT aspirants, we have a CAT Reddit group called CAT Study Room. So do check out our Reddit group. We try to keep it basically positive, motivational. We try to make sure that people get motivation and a sense of community through the Reddit group. So please do check out CAT Study Room on Reddit. Okay, so let's go to one small subset of this particular profit and loss, which is fraudulent shopkeeper. I want to give you the shorthand method of how to solve fraudulent shopkeeper this. So basically when you're solving fraudulent shopkeeper, you have to write the price over here, price over here. You have to write stated quantity. You have to write actual quantity. You have to write actual quantity and stated quantity. Whenever you're doing fraudulent shopkeeper, I want you to draw this entire structure. Now what do you fill over here? Stated quantity, suppose the guy, shopkeeper cheats while buying. So instead of buying 1 kg, he says gets 1.1 kg while buying. So if he's cheating while buying, you say that this is 1 kg stated quantity, but actual quantity is 1.1 kg because he's cheating while buying. Now, here the price you write is connected to the stated quantity. So while buying, suppose he's buying rice, which is 100 rupees per kg. So then you should write rupees 100. Why? Because this is the stated price for the stated quantity. So stated price and stated quantity have to be equal. Now the actual quantity is 1.1 kg. So over here also you should say this is 1.1 kg. This actual quantity on both sides should match up. Okay. Remember, stated quantity is the price quantity that he says he is buying. Actual quantity is the quantity he actually gets. When he is buying and he's cheating while buying, he'll get more quantity. Copy that over to the other side. Whatever is the price, that price is based on the stated quantity. He will not pay the price for the actual quantity, but for the stated quantity. He'll say, मैंने 1 kg ही लिया है. So 1 kg का 100 रुपए, he'll give 100 rupees. So this is the cost price for him. At this point, okay, now suppose he also cheats while selling. So actual quantity is 1.1 kg. He suppose cheats while selling and he gives 20% less quantity. So when he says he's giving 1 kg, he's only giving say 0.8 kg. Now what would be the stated quantity such that he actually gives 1.1 kg? So what would be the X value here such that his actual quantity that he gives is 1.1 kg? This is the question you have to answer. You cross multiply 1.1 divided by 0.8 is equal to X. You can say this is 4, this is 5. So this is 5.5 by 4 kg. So the stated quantity will be 5.5 by 4 kgs, which will be something like 1.375 or something like that. 1.375 kgs. So when he says that I am selling 1.375 kgs, he is actually giving the 1.1 kg. So over here, if it is 100 rupees per kg and he is saying that I am selling 1.375 kgs, how much would be the stated quantity, stated price? The selling price would be 100 times this. So this is 137.5. So do you get what is the percentage profit or percentage loss in this entire transaction? He's buying it for 100 rupees. He's selling it for 137.5. Directly you get that the percentage profit is 37.5. All you have to do is follow this format: buy side, sell side. If he cheats while buying, put say stated quantity, actual quantity, copy over the actual quantity. For that actual quantity, what is the stated quantity? This price should be by the stated quantity. This price should be by the stated quantity. On both sides, price is by the stated quantity. On both sides, actual quantity should be equal. If you follow this, you will not make any mistake in the fraudulent shopkeeper problem. Anybody has any issue with this? मैम इतने लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन आते हैं क्वांट में, बहुत लेंदी क्वेश्चंस है, पढ़ने और समझने में बहुत टाइम लगता है. अनुराग, आई विल टेल यू, ओके, सी इन मेनी केसेस, राइट, इफ अरिथमेटिक इज लेंदी, बड़े बड़े क्वेश्चंस, and geometry is easy, algebra is easy, do it first. But if algebra is painful, geometry is also difficult, and arithmetic is like this, I would prefer arithmetic, because even if it takes more time, hoga to sahi, at least I will get those. Even if it takes 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, I'll get the marks. But if I am not able to solve the other questions, it is difficult. So arithmetic, the issue is that arithmetic will not be difficult, it will be lengthy. But algebra and geometry will be difficult. So that is why I always say that arithmetic is a safer bet, because there is a low floor that you can get. Kuch bhi, no matter how bad it goes, there is a base level that you will get if you are good at arithmetic. Okay? Okay. Ma'am, repeat. Cheating customer के साथ call fraudulent सबसे आसान. Okay. हाँ, भाषा में. Okay. See, basically repeat करना है. Okay, I will tell this. Okay. So basically, I will tell this again. When you are getting a fraudulent shopkeeper question, okay, he is cheating. He is cheating while buying, he is cheating while selling, whatever is the case. Okay, let's do this. Suppose the shopkeeper cheats while buying. Only cheats while buying, doesn't cheat while selling. So he gets, say, 20% more than what he is entitled to while buying. Okay, so say that it is 100 rupees per kg. The stated quantity is 1 kg, but he is cheating while buying, so actual quantity is 1.2 kgs. Okay, he is giving 100 rupees, but he is getting 1.2 kgs. Take this 1.2 kgs to the other side. If he doesn't sell, if he doesn't cheat while selling, then the stated quantity will also be 1.2 kg. Now suppose he sells it at cost 1.2 kg at 100 rupees per kg, he will get 120 rupees. So then what would be the percentage profit? 20% profit. Suppose he marks up the price by say 50%, then it would be 120 into 1.5, 180 rupees, then the percentage profit would be 80% and so on. But the only thing you have to remember is write this stated quantity, write the actual quantity. When he's cheating while buying, he'll get more. Write the price, cost price based on the stated quantity. Copy over the actual quantity to the other side. If he doesn't cheat while selling, stated quantity, actual quantity are same. Find out the selling price based on this stated quantity. Then you will get, this is the cost price, this is the selling price, you get the percentage profit. Suppose he cheats only while selling, doesn't cheat while buying. Suppose he cheats only while selling, doesn't cheat while buying. So he buys say 100 rupees, stated quantity is 1 kg, actual quantity is also 1 kg, he didn't cheat while buying. Copy over to this side. Actual quantity is 1 kg. But while selling he is cheating, he is giving lesser. Okay, so here when he is selling, he is not giving 1 kg. Suppose he gives 20% lesser. So there, when he says I am giving you 1 kg, he is only giving you 0.8 kgs. So if he is giving you actually 1 kg, then what is the amount that he says he is going to give you? Let that be x. Is this visible for all of you? Yeah, I think it is visible. Let that value be x. What should be the stated quantity such that the actual quantity is 1? If 1 is the stated quantity, 0.8 is the actual quantity. If x is the stated quantity, 1 is the actual quantity. Cross multiply. So you get x is equal to how much? 1 into 1 divided by 0.8. So this is how much? 5 by 4, that is 1.25 kgs. So when he says, I am selling 1.25 kgs, he is selling 80% of that, which is 1 kg. So actual quantity both sides is same. Suppose he sells it at cost, sells it at the same price as cost price. So 100 into 1.25, he is giving it, selling it at 125. So percentage profit is 25%. Suppose he sells it at a markup of say 20%. So it will be 125 into 1.2 and then you will get the final price. From that you can minus 100 divided by 100, you will get the final percentage profit. This is the format you have to follow whenever he is cheating while buying or selling. Suppose he cheats on both sides, by buying as well as selling, he cheats. Okay. One way you can do it is you can keep 100 kgs, 100 rupees per kg, stated quantity 1, actual quantity he gives 20% lesser while buying and he takes 20% more while buying and cheats 20% lesser while selling. So when he says 1 kg, he is cheating while buying, he is setting 1.2 kgs. So actual quantity has to be the same, again 1.2 kg. What should be the stated quantity that he actually gives 1.2 kg? See, when he says 1 kg, he is giving 0.8. So what should he say for you to give 1.2? Again do this cross multiplication. When I say, when the fraudulent shopkeeper says 1 kg, he is giving only 0.8 kgs. So what would be the value that he is actually giving me 1.2 kg? So cross multiply, it get 1.2 divided by 0.8, this is 1.5 kg. When he tells me I am giving 1.5 kg, he will only give me 1.2 kg. He'll give me 20% lesser. So this means that the stated quantity is actually 1.5 kg. If he is selling at 100 rupees per kg, the value he will get is 150. What is the percentage profit? 100 goes to 150, it is 50% profit. This method works in every single case, every single scenario, cheating while buying, cheating while selling, cheating while doing both. Both scenarios do this. Make sure that the actual quantity is equal. This should match. The cost price should be by the stated quantity while buying. This should match. The cost selling price should be by the stated quantity while selling. Okay, understood? Okay, chalo. So let's go with the question. There's one question from that topic. I want all of you to get it right. Draw that diagram. You will not get it wrong. Is this useful for faulty weight meter too? Yes, for faulty weight, when even he is not intentionally cheating, right? If the buying quantity, stated quantity is different from actual quantity, use the same thing. Every single time stated quantity is different from actual quantity, use this method. Whether it is cheating or not cheating. Whenever that there is mismatch of stated quantity, actual quantity, use this method. It will work 100% of the time. Okay. What are the values you're getting, answers you're getting? So a bunch of 625s, one 500, two 500s, and a bunch of 625s. Okay, I want one. I'll give 30 more seconds. I want more of you guys to answer. Let me know which one do you think, or is it like a third answer entirely? Try to answer this question. Can we directly add 30% and 20%? No. Did I do that? No, because it is difficult. In one case, when you're cheating while buying, right, the quantity is increasing, like the cost is like basically you are getting additional quantity. So it is increasing by 30%. In the other case, when you are cheating while selling, no, the quantity increment is in the denominator. So you can't add it. The impacts are not in the same area. Generally in successive percentage changes, you have like X% increase, Y% increase, it is 1 plus X%, 1 plus Y%. Then you can say, okay, successive percentage change, X plus Y plus XY. But here they are affecting different things. One place they are affecting the numerator, the other place they are affecting the denominator. So the proportional changes, they are not changing the same things. You can't add the percentages. Don't make that mistake. That's why I gave that format, so I don't want you to make the mistake, okay? Hard questions. Okay, hard though questions. ये questions hard ही है because I am giving you all the ways to solve it. You are finding it easy. पूरा like समझा के just before the question if I explain, they become easy. The same question when it comes in mock, I get that less than 20% people have actually answered this. This question, less than 20% people actually answered it. So let's go. Okay, let's see how to solve this question. A trader cheats while buying rice and gets 30% extra than what he paid for. He then sells it at the actual cost price of the rice and also cheats by giving 20% less than what he was paid for. If he earns a profit of X% by selling all the rice that he has, find the value of 10x. So he's cheating both while buying and selling. So let's do this buy side, sell side. Okay. So have they given any value, absolute value? No. So I can assume any value that is convenient to me. So I'll assume that this is 100 rupees per kg. And let's say that the stated quantity is 1 kg. Okay, he cheats while buying and gets 30% extra than what he paid for. So actual quantity will become how much? 30% greater than this. So if it is 1 kg, actual is 1.3 kg. So he gets 1.3 kg. I copy it over here. This is 1.3 kg. He cheats while selling also and gives 20% lesser than what he was paid for. So if you are giving 1 kg, when he says he's giving 1 kg, he actually gives only 0.8 kg. He is giving 20% lesser. So what should be the stated quantity such that he gives 1.3 kg? Cross multiply, we get 1.3 divided by 0.8. That is how much? 1.3 divided by 4 into 5. So this is 6.5 divided by 4 kgs. This would be how much? This will be 25, so 1.625. So the actual stated quantity in this case would be how much? 1.625, because he is cheating while selling also, he is giving 20% lesser. So if he actually gives you 1.3 kgs, he is telling that I am selling it at I'm selling you 1.625 kgs. he sells it at the actual cost. He does not increase the cost, okay? So that means that he's selling it at 100 rupees per, sorry, this is 100 rupees per kg. So buying price is 100 rupees, selling price is 100 rupees per kg. So you multiply with the stated quantity of 1.625. So you get this is 162.5 rupees. So if this is the case, what is the percentage profit? 100 becomes 162.5%. So how much is that? That means that the percentage profit is 62.5%. X is 62.5, which means 10x is 625. Okay, easy enough. Once you draw this, no, you will not make a mistake. If you don't draw this, a lot of people make a mistake because they don't draw this particular format. If you draw this, you will never make a mistake. Okay, let's go to the next question. Now we are going to compound and simple interest. Okay, for all those who are looking for a batch, if you're looking to join Cracku and you've been waiting for the right batch to join, I'd say that we have a sale coming up. So many of our courses are at a deep sale right now. They are starting at only 2,1999. So do look at our sale. We are having a sale going on. The description in the chat box, our support guy will actually put in the details of the sale. So do look at it. And basically this is for the 3-month or the 90-day batch for those who are looking for a concentrated program for this particular short crash course period as such. So we have a sale going on. If you're on the fence, do I buy, do I not buy? Do check out because we have a sale going on. Okay. Okay. So buy AQ and sell AQ. Yeah. Basically, there is a confusion ki kya divide karna hai, kya multiply karna hai. To remove all of that confusion, I put that format up. Follow that format, there will be no confusion. That's all I have to say. I don't want to go into यहाँ पे divide करना है, यहाँ पे नहीं करना है. वो don't get into that. It will cause more confusion and you will make a mess in the actual exam. Follow the format blindly, you will not make a mistake. Okay. So let's go. What is interest? Fairly easy topic, very, very simple topic. So a simple interest is basically the idea that when you put any money into simple interest schemes, only your principal earns interest. The interest doesn't earn interest. And basically you put in like say 1,000 rupees and say at 10%, say for 5 years, the simple interest would be the principal into the rate of interest into the number of years. So since it is 10%, I can say this is 10 by 100. So this will be equal to how much? This cancels this. So this is 100, this is 500 rupees. So if you put for 5 years 10%, that will give you 500 rupees. In general, simple interest formula is principal into rate of interest, that is rate is divided by 100 because that is percent rate into the time period. The important thing to remember over here is that if you have something like this, suppose you go to a bank and you like say invest 1,000 rupees and for 5 years and if they give you simple interest only, what is happening is that what would you do logically in this case? At the end of the year, you would withdraw all your money and then you deposit it all over again, so that your principal value will increase at the end of each year. That is where basically compound interest comes in. Because what happens is that instead of having to go and do this every month, where you withdraw the balance, you deposit it again so that your principal increases, they told that I'll do it for you. So instead of having simple interest, they said that your principal will interest and even your accumulated interest will earn interest. So whatever you have earned till now, even that part will earn interest. So that is basically where we come in with compound interest. So compound interest, the formula is the total amount of compound interest after say n time periods is principal into 1 plus r by 100 raised to n, which is the number of time periods, and r is the rate per time period. Why do I say rate per time period? Suppose that the compounding frequency is per year, per annum. Then this will be the annual rate and this will be the number of years. Suppose the compounding frequency is per semi-annual, that is per 6 months. Then this rate would be basically the annual rate by 2 and the number of terms would be the number of years into 2. If it is say monthly, monthly would mean that you take the annual rate divided by 12 and the number of terms would be the number of years into 12. This is basically, you say that what is the per term rate. Term is basically the period of compounding. If it is per annum, then per annum rate. Per month, then per month rate. Per 6 months, per 6 months rate. That you raise to the number of terms that are there. Okay, this is the amount that is there, which is collected at the end of the entire period that is there. Now this is the overall amount, not just the interest. Amount is basically this compound interest will be basically the amount minus the principal. Now this is fairly simple. I know most of you know this. So again, I don't have to do much over here for the simple interest, compound interest formulas. But I will tell two different things that a lot of people don't know that are required. That is difference between simple interest and compound interest. For the first year, what is the simple interest and what is the compound interest? If the rate is same for both, the simple interest is PR. The compound interest is also PR. So in the first year, if there is only 1 year of investment and it is per annum compounding, if there is only 1 year, the difference between them is 0. Because whatever is your compounding frequency, until that frequency term is met, there will be no difference, right? Only after the compounding frequency is met does your interest start earning, and then the difference starts creeping up. Now suppose if it is for 2 years, what is the difference between them? So for 2 years, this will be, the interest will be 2 PR, 2 years into P into R. R is basically the percentage rate of interest. So R percent is like, so if it is 10%, it would be 0.1 and so on. I am not keeping divide by 100 just for ease of writing. Okay, so what would be the compound interest in that case for 2 years? It would be P into 1 plus R the whole square. So if I expand, this is P into 1 plus 2R plus R square. If I remove P from this, for compound interest, I will remove P. So I will get this is 2PR plus PR square. So this, in this case, compound interest is 2PR plus PR square. So what is the difference between compound interest and simple interest in the second year? It is PR square. First year, 0 difference. Second year, the difference between compound interest and simple interest for the same principal, for the same rate of interest is PR square. If I go on, I can keep doing this, okay? For cube, I'll say 1 plus 3PR plus 3PR square plus PR cube. So here the difference would be 3PR. This would be 3PR plus 3PR square plus PR cube. What would be the difference? This 3PR will cancel and I'll get the difference as 3PR square plus PR cube. Why is this important? This cube part will never come, but this difference PR square comes quite often. So they tell you directly that, okay, 2-year interest for simple interest is X. The difference between simple interest and compound interest is Y. These two are generally given, and then you are asked, okay, what is the principal or what is the rate of interest? How do you find that? You take the ratio, PPV cancels, 1R cancels with other, then you get the rate of interest by taking the ratio of these. This is a simple thing, it comes very often and you should know this very well. The second thing is, last thing that comes, which is something that you need to know, is installments. What is installments? See, installments comes from the concept of time value of money. Okay, what is time value of money? Basically, if somebody tells you, ki, give me 10,000 rupees today and I'll give you back 10,000 rupees 5 years from now. I'll say that why should I give you 10,000 rupees today? If I go and put that 10,000 rupees in a FD bank deposit, I'll not get 10,000 5 years from now. I'll get more than that. My money has time value. The more I put it in a FD or something like that, it will keep accumulating interest. So whatever is 10,000 worth today is not worth 10,000 at the end of a period of time. So there is some time value of money. Time value of money means whatever is the rate of interest, if it is worth 10,000 today and the rate of interest is say 10k or 10%, okay? So this same 10,000, if the rate of interest is 10k, then I will say that after 1 year, give me 10,000 into 1.1. So give me 11.1k. Otherwise, if you don't give me 11.1k, I would rather put it in the fixed deposit. 2 years from now, give me 1.21k. Why? Because it is 10% square, 1.1 square. So give me 1.21k, 12.1k. Instead of 10k giving me back 10k, give me 12.1k. Because after 2 years, the same 10k is now worth 12.1k. After 3 years, that would be 1.1 cube, that would be 13.31k, and so on. So basically the 10k that is worth today is worth something else tomorrow, is worth something else tomorrow, is worth something else tomorrow. So this is the basic concept of time value of money, and from this we get the concept of installments. So installments basically mean that if I get, say, some money today and I have to give it back in a regular schedule. Suppose I give it back in installments of 3 installments, say A, B and C. Then I'll say that what is, and this is suppose the principal, what is the equation I can form for this? So this is year 1, year 2, year 3. So I want to compare values which are of 3 different time periods. I can't say P is A plus B plus C. Why? Because there is time period involved. So I will say that either I consider value of all of these today, or I will consider value of all of these on year 3. If the rate of interest is, say, 10%, what would be the value of P after year 3? After year 1 it would be 1.1p, after year 2 it is 1.21p, after year 3 it is 1.331p. So I will say at the end of year 3, this is 1.331p, that is basically p into 1.1 cube. This is the compounding rate of interest for 3 years. This has to be equal to the installments value. If somebody is paying me back in installments, the value of the installments has to be equal to the value of the initial loan. So this value has to be equal to the value of the installments. So what would be the value of installments? A is 2 years away from C. So A will also earn interest for 2 years. So I'll say this is A into 1.1 square. B is 1 year away from C. So B will also earn interest at 10%. So this is B into 1.1. C is at year 3. So C's value is C only. So this is plus C. So by using this equation, I can find out the value of A, B and C using this equation. Sometimes they will tell you they are A, B, C are equal. Then find the value of the installment. Sometimes they will say that the value of installments is in this particular ratio. Find the value of the installment. So this is basically what you have to do. Draw this equation, say the principal value is this. These are the installments. P's value on this date. A's value on this date. B's value on this date. C's value on this date. Equate P's value on the later date to value of each installment on the later date. Then you will get the final answer. Pretty simple, not difficult at all. Okay? Okay, simple. Okay, let's go to the next questions on simple and compound interest. Easy questions, I want you guys to solve this. Ajay, this is generally 2 to 5 every Saturday. Can you give high focus, medium focus and low focus topics for quant? Okay, high focus, medium focus, low focus. Okay, high focus is arithmetic, all of arithmetic, 100% of arithmetic. Okay, next is algebra, quadratic equations, linear equations, logarithms. This I have cherry picked according to the level of difficulty and the likelihood of being asked in the exam. Medium focused, algebra, rest of it, geometry, all of it, number systems, HCF, LCM, divisibility, basic number systems rule. Okay, then you are left with, I think most of it is done. Low focus, then you have algebra, geometry is done, number systems is done. Functions, low focus, P and C, probability, then you have progressions and series. Why this way? Because I've just put what is difficult in low focus. This is for a person who is weak in quant. If I was weak in quant, I would do this and I would do this well. I would do it again and again so that I was like very good at it. If I was moderate in quant, I would do these two and I'd probably leave this. If I was very good in quant, you have to do everything and you have to do it well. Because progressions and series ka bhi 1-2 questions aata hai. PNC and probability ka also 1 question will come. Functions ka 2 question aega. The reason why I put it at the bottom is because they are difficult, and for a lot of students, it is difficult for them to do it at all. So because of that, I've put it at the end. And if you're a weak student, focus on this and do it very well. If you are a moderate student, focus and do both of these well. Otherwise, you do this. Okay? Everything, if you're a gem guy, you have to do it everything almost. Okay? Okay. Okay. So what is the answer? What are the answers that you're getting? Okay, guys, tell me what is the answer. Anybody getting any answer till now? I think my chat is buffering. Okay. Tough question. I have not gotten a single answer till now. Come on, guys. It's not that difficult. Come on, you can do it. $60, Nicola, you should know, tell with confidence, not with question mark. You should tell with confidence what the value is. Okay, come on, guys. You can do this. Come on, try to solve this question. I've seen only 4 answers till now. One also lacking confidence. That is not good. Whatever answer you get, you should have full confidence in it. Otherwise, how will you actually do well in the exam? You will start doubting your own answers. Come on, guys. Okay, I have gotten some answers, and one income is greater than 1.3 times expenditure. Correct? That is true. I'll give the high focus and medium focus for DILR after this one, okay? Okay, I think some of you have gotten the answer, but I'll tell for those who didn't get, that's fine. The only source of income for a bank is the interest it charges on loans at the rate of R% compounded annually. It is also an expenditure in the form of interest offered to people who deposit money in the bank at the rate of R% of simple interest. If the bank has an equal amount of money lent out as loan and the deposited amount of people, what should be the minimum integral value of R such that it earns at least 30% more than the amount spent in the 2 years? So what does that mean? What is the earning? Income is basically compound interest. Compound interest in 2 years is how much? 2 times PR plus PR square. What is the simple interest in 2 years? 2 PR. We are told income should be at least 30% more, so that should be 1.3 times the expenditure. This is what is given. So if I put it in the same this should be at least greater than 1.3 times this. Simple? Simple enough? This is the income, the compound interest. This is the expenditure, simple interest. So compound interest should be greater than or equal to 1.3 times simple interest. So how much is this? 2 PR plus PR square is greater than or equal to 2.6 PR. P and R can be cancelled throughout, but essentially I will get PR square is greater than or equal to 0.6 PR. PR square is greater than or equal to 0.6 PR. P cancels with this, 1 R cancels with this. So R is greater than or equal to 0.6. 0.6 is how much? 0.6 is 60%. So what should be the minimum integral value of R such that it earns at least 30% more than this? The minimum integral value of R is when R is greater than or equal to 0.6. So the minimum integral value is 0.6. In percentage terms, it is 60%. Okay? Pretty simple question, very easy question. When you look at compound interest, you should write it like this. When you write simple interest, you should write it like this. Once you have that equation, it is trivially easy to solve. If you go with equation of amount, it will take some more time, but you should know shorthand of compound interest for 2 years very quickly. Shorthand for this simple interest anyway you would know, but compound interest for 2 years you should know by heart. Okay, next question. Again, I want you guys to do it quickly. I'll give you very little time because this is an easy question. Come on. And I want full confidence from you, Nikhila, when you answer it. Good job, Jeet and Paridhi and Sonima also. That's okay, Sonima, even if you are stuck. Basically, it should clarify what you have to do. When you are comparing compound and simple interest for 2 years, this is the equation. Oh yeah, for DILR, the can do, must do, high focus, medium focus, low focus. Okay. For high focus, tables, charts, puzzles, arrangements. Medium focus, scheduling, quant puzzles, including enumeration puzzles, and 2D, 3D, LR puzzles. I would say low focus is games and tournaments, team selection, routes and networks, if I missed anything, let me know. But mostly, remember, this is priority 1. You should do all arrangements, all puzzles, all tables, all charts very, very well. Scheduling is the common topic. It comes every 2-3 years. Quant puzzles is also very common. 2D space puzzles. 3D is basically 2D, 3D is basically 2D, okay? 2D space LR puzzles come very often. Okay, so this is the medium focus. Games and tournaments, team selection, routes and networks. I've put it over here. Games and tournaments comes often, but games and tournaments is the hardest of all the sets. Generally, whenever games and tournaments comes, it is the hardest of all sets. So even if the frequency is high, that would never be your first choice while solving. So why spend a lot of time preparing for something that you would not even pick to solve? Team selection is also very time consuming, crazy time consuming. Routes and networks is basically easy to solve, but it is low probability. If it is not too much, you can do routes and networks also. If I missed any topic, let me know, but mostly I've put everything. What are the options, man? Okay, sorry. Yeah, you need options for these. This is the options, okay? The options are close, use a calculator, okay? 35, 38, 37, 39. So since they are close, you need to use a calculator. Okay. If you are confused by the percentage sign, I would say Vedantika, use decimal. So if you are confused by 60%, always use 0.6. That even I prefer. So if I say increase by 25%, I just directly say 1.25. I don't get into the hassle of 25%, etc. I find decimals also much more intuitive because I just find it is like less likely to make a mess. So even if I put like, okay, 0.6 and 0.6, if it is successive increase or successive decrease of 40% twice, so then I won't make the mistake of like considering divided by 100 only once. Because if I say that, okay, baad mein I have to remember divide by 100, I would make a mistake there. So always just use decimal so that you know now this is 0.36, so it's a 64% decline. Otherwise it would be, you'd make a mistake over there if you say that I'll divide by 100 later on. Okay, don't divide by 100 later on, use decimal. That is much easier, much more foolproof. Okay, how did you guys, okay, D, 2Ds, yeah, Venn diagrams. Yeah, Venn diagrams is one that I forgot. It is medium focus. Okay, this is one. I was thinking that I forgot something in medium focus. This is sets and Venn diagrams. They also come very often. Basically, scheduling and sets and Venn diagrams, one set comes. Not every year, not every slot, but one of those comes, and it is easy. So you should not lose those easy kind of sets. Okay, so a couple of D's. So Harsh is saying D, Sonama is saying D, Narayan is saying D, Vikas D, Ankriti D. So what is the answer? Let us try to solve how to solve this question. Okay. Okay. So Vijay borrows an amount of 50,000 from an unauthorized lender at 10% per annum compound interest to run his business. Due to some instability in his business, he chose not to pay the lender back in equal installments. He paid the amount back to the lender in 3 years in the ratio of the annual installments being 2:1:5. Find the approximate value of the final installment. Okay. So this is what we have to give. So he takes in how much? Let's draw the timeline. He takes in 50K. Okay. Then he gives it back as 2x. Let the constant of proportionality be x. So he gives back 2x, then x, and then finally 5x. Okay. What is the rate of interest? 10% rate of interest. So what is the year 3 value of all of these installments plus the initial value? 50K year 3 value will be 50,000 into 1.1 cube. This would be the year 3 value. This should be equal to the value of the time value of each installment. So that would be 2x into 1.1 square plus x into 1.1 plus 5x. How much is this? 1.1 square is 1.21. So that is 2.42x plus 1.1x plus 5x. How much is this? 2.42 plus 1.1. It is 3.52 plus 5. This is 8.52x. 8.52x is 50,000 into 1.1 cube. 1.1 cube is how much? 1.331 into 50,000. How much is this? So this would be 65. So this is 15, 1, 16, 1. So 6655. And this, so one more 0. So 665500 is equal to 8.52x. So x is equal to 66550 divided by 8.52. This is the value constant of proportionality value. But we are asked what is the value of the final installment. So to find the value of the final installment, I have to multiply this by 5. If I use a calculator, I get that this value is equal to 39,000 something something. What is it? 39,055. These kind of compound simple interest, don't be a hero, don't do divided by 8.52. Simply use a calculator. This is what a calculator is made for. All simple and compound, not simple, compound interest questions, that is what the calculator is used for. Everything else don't use calculator, but here you should use the calculator. The correct answer is option D. Anybody has any question with that? Ma'am, option's not visible. Yeah, sorry about that. I had briefly kept it up, but then later I kept it down again. Sorry about that, Shashank. Okay, so the answer is option D. So with this, it brings us to the end of today's session. For those who are interested in joining Cracku's course, please do contact us on this number 630-323-9042. We are here to help you, guide you, find the right course for you. The Cracku's Crash course, which is starting soon, will have daily live classes. They are from 8 to 9 p.m. We have weekly revision. We have one-on-one mentorship. We have a day-wise schedule. Every day we'll tell you exactly what to prepare. So don't worry, we'll give you all the materials needed to succeed, the concept videos, the question bank, everything so that you succeed. So do check out Cracku's Crash course and contact us for further details. So it has been good having you guys, and it has been a bit of a longer session than I intended, but I hope everything in arithmetic is done for you guys. We have done one part before. This is the second part. Arithmetic should be rock solid. We'll do algebra. I'll explain everything from algebra. I'll do complete geometry. I want you guys to participate. I want you guys to be very this about solving. So now that arithmetic is done, I want you guys to go and solve a lot of questions from the study room. Okay, arithmetic should be rock solid for all of my students. So good night, good evening for all guys, and goodbye. And it was fun having this session for you. Okay. Okay, so VARC tips, ma'am. So Madan, I'll tell you, basically in VARC, if you are somebody who is struggling with VARC, put laser focus on RC, read 2 articles every single day. Read articles from basically a variety of sources, not just the sources or topics that you like, but a variety of sources. I would say go to CAT daily articles. We put from a variety of sources. Every time you read, for every paragraph you read, write down the main point. Do this for 2 articles every single day. In addition to that, solve 2 RC sets every single day. Do it 1 from study room, 1 is the daily target. I want you to practice every single day. If your RC is rock solid, your RC is sorted, your para summary is sorted. Then all you have to do is take care of the para jumbles. Para jumbles, para completion, theta para jumbles, OOC para jumbles are all linked. They require the same set of skills, and you get better at one, you will get better at all of them. So then work at VA. But first put laser focus on RC. Do this 2 articles plus 2 RCs every single day, and then you will see improvement. Okay, so today, goodbye for today, and see you at the next live stream.